Hello, everybody, and welcome to Floating Fortress, Episode 3. How are my favorite players in the whole wide world doing today?
So fantastic.
Me and Lucas are doing amazing.
Yeah, we're doing good.
We're
I
doing
think.
good.
Can't complain.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, here we are. Last we met, because it's been a while if you're watching the live stream, there was a trial, there were goblins, there was an owlbear, there was death, and then someone got whipped. And so now we're all standing around. Let's not look at the island. Let's look at the actual town itself. We're standing around looking at the town right here. We've just finished the trial. And I think it's mid-afternoon.
So I'm looking at the crowd. Are they now like dispersing? What's the feeling amongst the crowd after the incident? We basically let the guy off scot-free.
Yeah, to get the feeling of the crowd, you'd have to walk through it. You'd have to like spend, 20 minutes, half an hour.
I think that's what I do.
Listening.
Riven's got a lot of good friends. She's lived here for a long time. They've lived here a long time. Sorry. So I'm gonna walk through the crowd and just speak to the people, because I gave quite an impassioned speech for a moderate centrist action of like, yes, this person's done bad, but we all need to stick together. Some punishment's definitely warranted, but we shouldn't be killing our people off right now. I want to go and try and take the tone of the crowd, say hi to people, see how everyone's doing. It's been a pretty traumatic few days. Some people I haven't caught up with, so I'm going to spend half an hour doing that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What do you want to do, Cedric? What do you do with the rest of your day?
So this is right after we healed the guy, or like protected the guy and he got lashed?
Yeah,
I'm
just
gonna-
done with his lashes.
I'm gonna probably get the town going and go back and check the wall, right?
Elijah
I remember-
walked over to Cedric.
There we go.
Hey, so it feels like we're not really. It just feels like we kind of have a thing going on now. Like we have our powers now and stuff like that. And we're doing a good job protecting. Should we like go hang out and like do more stuff and fight more? Because I'm a really good fighter now, and like you too, you do really good in battle as well. Like maybe not, but
Yeah.
and
You are really good.
I think maybe we should put that to good use and use it to benefit because there's still a lot to be going on, right? And I mean, we could go down there now and write stuff down and all the stuff we're good at and like lift stuff, but like I think we could really be of use to the town if we use our powers, if you know what I mean.
I mean, what powers am I going to use? I say as I look up my spells again. Well, what powers do you have that you could help the town, you think?
Well, I'm sure there's a lot more goblins out there that we have to fight. Like there's a lot more going on now, and like there's the whole door situation, and I mean we're real wardens now, right? You and me. We don't have to do all this like manual labor shit anymore.
No, we don't. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Sure, come with me. We'll go help the town today. I guess we can go and help the town with our clerical spells, Koibu.
All right.
I can cast Cure Light Wounds on people.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
So you can heal anyone that needs healing. Excellent skill. You can set yourself up. Where do you do that? Do you set yourself up in the temple or in the town square or your house or like the warden's headquarters or just like out in the
Temple's
fucking
all the way down
woods?
here, right? Number 3. Yeah, I'm gonna do it in the town square then.
Okay. And how do you let people know that you've set up a little healing post, or do you just like let it spread by word of mouth?
I'll let my friend over there do that. I will let what's his name? Elijah, go tell people if they're wounded or anything from the construction, they come to me. Even if they're tired, they'll come to me and I'll heal them.
Right. Yeah, we can definitely help a lot of people that way. I think this is a great idea, by the way, and I think I would love to do that job for you. I was just thinking maybe something with a little more kick, a little bit more adventure to it, But I mean,
kill goblins. I mean, we have to wait for the whole group.
Yeah.
Let's do this today, and then tomorrow we can go. Okay? We got to go find those people, anyways.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay. I'll go tell people. That's a good use of my. I'm definitely.
Elijah, ever the people person, now goes out to make friends and let everyone know about the free healing happening downtown. And this is free, right? You're not charging anyone,
Yeah.
Cedric.
Fuck it. It's free.
Elijah
Yeah,
does this
excellent.
by. Is there like a kid somewhere standing around who seems like he's not doing anything?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Elijah delegates this task immediately to
Smart.
the kid and then goes to have a drink.
How do you motivate the kid, or do you just like tell him that this is his task and then take off?
Hey, kid. Hey, you.
Yeah.
I gotta listen. We're all the town's still. You might have heard the town's still in a pretty dire situation right now. You know, we all gotta do our little task. I got a lot to do, and there's actually, there's a lot of wounded people around, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So, okay, here, I got a really important task for you, okay? This is like really, and if you do this well, like I probably got more tasks for you coming as well. You interested in that?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
Sure, Mr. Wizard.
Elijah is the name. Elijah Evans. You can call me sir.
Sir Evans.
That's right. So listen, there's anyway, Cedric, my good he's not necessarily my employee, but he's doing some healing and stuff for us right now in the group.
You mean
And-
the Smith?
Yeah, that's right. And
Mm-hmm.
he actually he's got some powers to like heal people and stuff. So we thought us together as wardens, we thought we would do some good for the town, use our powers for good, and like use that healing power that we have to heal people for free, right? Just for free, because we're wardens now, right? We're all here to protect the town. So if you could go around and tell everyone that Cedric's over there and he's healing a bunch of people for free, and even the wounded people can go there. Tell him Elijah's organizing this whole thing, and to go to Cedric and spread the word. Can you do that?
How much does it pay?
What do you mean? How much does it pay? Do you think I'm getting paid for this? It's
Well,
we're
my
doing it
mom
for the
always
town.
told
It pays
me-
with honor and
My mom always told me that if you give the milk away, no one's going to buy the cow. So, if you want me to do something for you, you're going to pay me, right?
I mean that's an interesting proverb for sure. Where'd your mom go to school again?
She didn't go to school.
Because this fun fact about I actually did go to school over in the big harbor town, and I
Just Stars Bay?
yeah, Just Stars Bay
I thought-
Business School specifically. And what we're doing right now is a promotion. Okay, so basically, you're gonna go out, you're gonna do this for free, and if you do a good job, then later on we can all think about how can we utilize your skills to pay you for it. But I have no idea who you are, how good you are at the stuff you do, so I'm not gonna pay you immediately, right?
The kid fails his wisdom check, nods a couple of times, says, "Okay, but before I go, can you do the burning stick trick again? I heard the other kids talking about how you shoot fire out of your stick, and I wanted to see it for myself."
I don't usually.
Please,
All right. One time.
please, yeah.
I cast burning spray.
And are you doing this from a stick or from your hands?
Just-
How do you?
I think I've learned in the past that like from my hands, not a good idea. I pick up. I can do it from like rocks, right? Isn't that?
Do you from your rapier?
Or does it have to be like metal? Flammable materials
Has
touched by it, touch the fire. Wait, no. I feel like I remember it being able to do it from
The
like,
fire may be sprayed from an elongated, wieldable object made of wood, metal, stone, glass, or gemstones.
wood, metal, stone, glass, or gemstones.
Yeah. So you need something that's it'll get it long enough away from you that it doesn't blow back on you. So any sort of natural object, solid natural object,
Did we,
or
did we
worked
establish
metal.
previously that I can do this from my pen?
Oh, you were
No,
trying
'cause
to do it from
pen
your quill.
is-
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but the quill's like feathers and shit, and it does
Yeah.
not work.
Fucking cool.
We can get you a metal quill.
We should do
That's
that.
true.
I'm a smith.
All right, I'll do it. I can do it for my rapier, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll do it for my rapier.
Excellent. The kid squeals with joy and then hurries off to tell everyone about the burning stick trick. And oh yeah, Cedric is in town offering free healing. It's a business plan from Just Stars Bay that involves like getting everyone involved first, and then we're gonna make a whole bunch of money with it later.
That's right.
And
And
he shuffles off.
just to refresh my memory on the whole spell slot situation, what we're doing for me this time in this low pressure situation, so I don't have to fuck around with it next time we're in combat. This cost me 4 MP. 'Cause it doesn't say
it's been
on
a
the
while.
spell the costs. I'm just a little bit confused on it.
Yeah, new class sorcerer. It's 3 MP for a first level spell slot.
3 MP for first level spell, so it go down to
Yeah.
1. I can't cast any more spells until I have a short rest.
No, it refreshes.
At midnight every night?
Midnight.
No, it's like if you rest for
No,
1
it's
hour
hourly.
or something.
Yeah.
We did like something that was actually based. I don't remember what it was.
I'm sorry. No, it is 4. I'm sorry. It's 4.
Yep.
And if you are resting, you get 2 MP back per hour. If you're sleeping, you get 6 MP back per hour.
Perfect.
So 2 hours of chilling in the tavern, your MP is back.
Gotcha.
So,
Got it.
what kind like we're standing around watching this trial for a couple of hours. Does that count as resting?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, and you all
Yeah.
woke up, so everyone should be at full MP today.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Now, next person up is Zephyr. You see your party begin to go apart, do their things. You just gave an impassioned speech, sort of built up some nationalist pride here. Not every moment is an action moment, and here, as the crowd disperses and everyone goes back to work, and people go back to cover up or clear away the rock around the doorway. What does Zephyr feel is going on or needs to be done? If anything.
Zephyr is thinking a lot of things all at once. Is thinking about should she go pray? Should she go talk to the mayor? Should she go talk to what's his name? Like, it's all kind of like it's a very tumultuous, emotional, lot happening moment, right? A lot happened, and I think Zephyr comes down to the best thing to do is to keep busy. So Zephyr starts looking around for some of the runners that she's been using, and starts trying to gather more information about the town. Just like, okay, do we know who's missing? Still missing? Just doing her duties, right? People probably want to have meetings with Zephyr. People want to talk to Zephyr, ask her things. I'm also trying to find out if there's anybody in the town whose ability to perform work has been destroyed. Like, let's say somebody's farm was destroyed in something, or
Got it. Okay. So you're
somebody's
going back
workshop,
into
and we can find work for
administration. Yeah. Trying to just oversee actions. Perfect. No, this is great.
exactly.
Okay. The day proceeds. Everyone's got their tasks. We're going to flip back to Riven for a minute because Riven, you wanted to get the feel of what was going on in the town.
Yeah, I think I walk quite quickly to catch up with the crowd as they're dispersing, and I'm picking out a few people that I know specifically that I've lived in the town for a long time, so I'll just ask people, what did you think of the speech? Do you think that Zephyr made the right decision? Do you think that Zephyr's well suited for the role? Things like that.
Yeah. Well, give me a wisdom check.
Oh, that I can do.
Excellent roll here. Now, there's 2 things you're learning. You're learning the things that people are saying, but with a 30 on your wisdom check, you're also learning a little bit about those underlying things here. And what you're really getting is that this appears to be a period of change, and everyone's a little resistant to it. Some people think Zephyr's doing great, some think Zephyr's doing badly, but what you're really getting is that so much is changing. Gods are here, walls are falling, there's goblins, everyone's just a little bit on edge. And what they appreciate most is the strong leadership, is that there is a direction. So even the people who are like, I don't know, that seemed a little rough, I don't think we should be doing that. As the conversations continue, you get this well, at least somebody knows what's going on, and somebody is in charge and taking care of it. So that might not be the right method, but what do I know? I'm a beet farmer. This is above my pay grade.
Okay, that's good. I think Riven's main actual concern is for the people of the town, so I think they're quite happy to see that people aren't despairing and the people are somewhat comfortable. There is I've got this idea that one of the people that Riven knows in the town is this lady called Liz. And Liz has a son that's about the same age as Riven appears. So they look about 30. And Riven knows this Liz person from when they grew up, so They were a friend of Riven's mum. But they're ill and, resting in bed. And they won't have seen, everything that's going on. So I think Riven wants to go in, as they're doing the rounds around the town and catching up with people, the last person that they're going to go to is to Liz's house, where they'll have a conversation in the same vein as what I've just described with the son. But also I'm going to go and catch up with Liz. She's in bed, I'll sit by her bed and take her hand. I'll reminisce a little bit about, do you remember when I was still a kid and you helped my mum out at the tea shop? Good. There's nice times and things are going well on the island, but there has been some changes. You might have felt it recently, and I'm going to kind of explain that some things are happening, and actually that my mother's passed away in the explosion that happened in the last week or so. And I just think that Liz should know because they were friends, but obviously she's not all there these days. But I'm trying to get to the point that Riven's cares a lot about people in the town, and is taking the time out of their day often to go and check up on people and make sure that everyone's doing okay, and trying to be a force for calm.
Yeah, and it's clear that Liz has been bedridden, right? Is not doing so well. Hasn't really seen what's happening. The comet only landed 1, 2, 3 days ago, right? So this is all very fresh and new. And Liz, first off, is so upset to not have been there for your mom's funeral. Good friend of hers. She couldn't get out of bed to make it. She couldn't, she's got the gout or whatever it is that you didn't specify where her condition is, but I think it's some sort of goutish disease
that sounds right,
where her joints are so painful she just can't really move anywhere. Just so sad about your mom.
I know. Me as well. It's kind of hard to really grieve properly with everything that's happening. But speaking to you and speaking to our friends, that helps me along in that process. I want you to know that bracelet that you gave her all those years ago, she kept that, and I made sure she had it with her when we buried her.
Hold on, where's my old woman voice? If everyone else is too busy with the goings on, I have naught but time, Riven. And if you need a moment or a place to grieve while all these things are happening, you can always come and spend time with me in prayer, and I'll be here for you if no one else can.
That's so sweet. Absolutely, I'll take you up on that offer. I think I need some time away from everything out there. They say, looking longingly at the window. In fact, why don't we have a little catch up now? I've got some time for the rest of the day. Let me go and make some tea, and I'll go to the kitchen and make some tea. And I think while I'm in there, I'll speak to her son, who's now probably a bit older than me, so maybe 40 or something like that, a human, and I'll say, how are you feeling, John, with everything that's happening? I know it's an uneasy time for people around here.
John crosses his arms and goes, I always kind of thought these traditions, practices we did, they felt very nice and ritualistic, and I always kind of felt that I wished there was more to them than these lamp lighting ceremonies and these prayers and I always wanted there to be a little more going on. And now that the gods have come down, Martha and Malchus have come down and have seen what that looks like, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty nervous. Martha's supposed to be the goddess of healing, and what was her first act on this world? Killing 50 people. 50's not the right number, but he's exaggerating. And Malchus, maybe it's his fault. Maybe Martha tried to land gently in the town square and Malchus made everything explode, but I can't help but wonder how a goddess of healing, goddess of creation and life, could come to such a violent approach. It's...
Yeah.
What's going on?
I've struggled with those thoughts myself. I tell you what's brought me peace, John. I don't know if this is true, but it helps me think past it. The gods, they operate on a different level to us. There's things going on out there that we can't understand. And like you said, Martha, the goddess of life and creation and good, there has to be a reason for it. I'm thinking that there has to be a reason. All this happening with the mountain and the door and the Verasi army, maybe it's all connected. Maybe those people that died, maybe it was for a good reason. We can't understand what it is.
That's what they always say, and I get it. To some level, my mom's, she's been sick. People always been telling me there's a reason, trust in the plan, all that stuff. But really, the goddess of healing is here in my town, and she doesn't help my mom? And not only does she not help mom, she kills 50 people.
I've been getting closer to Cedric recently, the blacksmith's son. And after this happened, he's had some, I think you've probably heard a few of us have had some strange abilities. I don't know the ins and outs of what he can do. But as far as I understand it, he can help people who are, not feeling too well or people who are hurt. I'm going to see if maybe I can get him to come over here and see if maybe we can, maybe we can help Liz out a little bit. And also, just between us, please don't go around saying this to people, but, my mum, she lived for a long time, and we've got a little bit of money in the house. And, with everything that's happening, and I know that your dad passed away a while ago. If Liz needs anything from Just Oz Bay, or if there's something particular you guys need, let me know the next time we're doing a trade run, the next time the mayor's going out, and I'll make sure that she gets it.
Well, there ain't no cure for gout, so, unless you can get my kids up to a working age so they can pull in twice their weight or something like that.
Perhaps there's, a fruit or some flowers maybe. I don't know. Something that might make her feel better.
He shrugs.
You've always been a practical sort, John.
Yeah, well, I don't see much benefit in fruit and flowers and prayers, and it doesn't really seem to make a difference. Hard day work, that's the only thing that's ever made a difference in my life.
They're not. Well, I've got to get going, but it's good to see you, and I'm going to go and make some tea and spend some more time with Liz before I leave.
Riven, can I ask you something?
Sure.
You mentioned Cedric and y'all got some, kind of wiggles his hand in your face like some sort of magic that's come up.
I guess so, yeah.
You too?
Yeah, I think so.
What you got? What happened to you?
I'm not sure I can explain it, really. The comet came down. It's all a bit of a blur, really, given what happened. It was only when I stopped for breath that I realized I felt different. Yeah, I'll show you. I will summon an unseen servant, which I'll use. Notably
an invisible force that he cannot see.
Yes, but I'll use it to pour the kettle into the tea. So it looks like I'm just kind of making the tea from the other side of the kitchen, and then I have the tray carried over to me. I don't want to take it into Liz because that might freak her out, but I have to bring the tray with the tea over to me, which I will then take with both of my hands and then walk it into the other room.
He stares slack-jawed at this effect.
Like I said, I'll see what Cedric can do, and then I'll head into the other side of the house and sit with Liz with the tea. I assume John's got work to do. He's got kids and shit, so yeah. All right, cool. Okay, and then I spend an hour with Liz, or maybe, and then I go back. I guess I'll go back to the tavern to meet up with the others if something needs doing, but otherwise I'll just, meander the day away.
Was there any other information you want out of Liz?
No, I don't think so. Not right now.
Okay.
A spell cost 1 MP or 4?
4.
Okay, so that's all of my MP, right? Okay.
Yeah, for the next 2 hours until you rest.
Yeah.
All right, so the day is going to whittle away. There's not a lot of people that need healing, but some people do come by for it. There's been an effort that's still going on to clear away the rock from around the gate in the mountainside. And occasionally that'll produce some injury or accident. And mostly at the end of the day is when people come through the town square for some resting. I think, Cedric, you find yourself just chilling there for a little while.
No one came?
But not immediately. I think you had actually done healing yesterday or the day before. And so there's no like outstanding injuries.
Got it.
And it takes a while for the kid to tell people. Like, it takes time for word to spread and everything.
Well, I think I would eventually make my way there to ask Cedric about Liz.
Okay.
After that. So I guess I probably get there later in the evening. You're probably thinking about packing up for the day.
I'm like whittling. I'm whittling like a stick in the shape of a teardrop. No, the moon.
Where did you end up doing the healing center?
Just in the middle
Right
of
by
town.
the tavern.
Yeah.
All right, in the tavern.
Right
Okay.
next to the tavern.
Smart
Do you
place
have-
to be.
Do you have like a sign that says like Cedric's healing?
No, I don't
station or
have
something
any
like that?
sign. I'm just sitting there whittling a piece of hardwood into a moon-shaped ornament.
Okay, cool. I come over to say it. Cedric, how you doing?
No, good. Just waiting for people. I assume someone will show up eventually.
What are you? Oh, you trying to help people out who are hurt?
I shrug. I mean, what else am I going to do today? I guess I could have went back to the blacksmith shop and got to work, but doesn't seem
Feels strange
appropriate.
now.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, I've got someone who maybe you can help. I don't know how all of that works now that you can do, but you know John who lives like over there.
I nod.
Yeah, well, his mum Liz is a good friend of mine and of my mum as well, and she's got a pretty bad gout. You know, she's quite old now. She's kind of struggling to get on her feet, and I said maybe that you'd go and like have a chat with her and see if maybe you could make her feel a bit better. I don't know. You don't have to do it today.
yeah,
You don't
no,
have to
I
do it
mean,
today. I mean, it's just
I
if
can
you're not-
try.
Yeah, like if you've got nothing else to do,
All right. Yeah, I guess.
you're a good guy, Cedric.
Yeah, I'm a good man. Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. All right.
Let's go.
Oh,
All right.
I'll go with you to John's, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yeah. You can cure light wounds. Anyone.
Yeah.
You can do it once. Each person can benefit it from once per day.
Yeah.
And they can heal up to 1d8 hit points, or if they have a lot of hit points and they're missing 25% or less, 2d8, right? Gout, though, is a disease. It's not an injury. So as you cure light wounds her, like as the magic is happening, her pain is slightly relieved. But then, once the magic is done, once you've done casting the spell, the pain just like comes back within.
I try a
half an
chant
hour
of
or so.
protection as well. Does that do anything for her? Just for
as
temporary
long as the
relief?
chant goes, she gets 1 HP. So as long as you're hanging out next to her, she'll gain a temporary HP. But like that doesn't seem to alleviate the pain.
Okay.
In theory, though, half an hour you said. So she's bedridden now. There's places she can't go. Like she might like to go to the tea room, for example. So in theory, Cedric could kind of help her get out of bed and go and do something at some point, and then come back to bed as long as it was within half an hour.
Well, yeah, her pain will be temporarily relieved, so she might be able to get up and do something, and then get back to bed. But
Like play with her grandkids or something,
for a brief period of time, yeah.
That's actually
Absolutely.
quite nice. Okay, I think that's
fine.
good.
Can I
That's
do
good to
the
know.
reverse of cure light wounds? I don't get that, right?
You do not have a reverse.
Okay, just making sure. All right, yeah, I'll cure light wounds her. I'll chant her some protection, and then once... I mean, that's all I can really do. Right
Yeah,
now.
that's fine. I think we work out that can work in that way, and we can make use of it another time. But
Yeah, I'll hit her
thanks.
with a bless.
Thanks for that, Cedric.
Yeah, yeah.
As we walk back to the tavern, I say, well, if there's no one there when we get back, should we get a drink?
Yeah. We can get a drink.
There's quite a lot that happened today with the trial and everything.
It was definitely interesting, to say the least. That guy made a choice to kill that old man. I guess he wasn't trying to. He was just trying to knock him out.
It does mean that at least the people care about the fortress and want to protect it, even if that gets a little bit too fervorous at times. But I was after the trial and everything, I was walking around the town, and I think most people seem pretty happy with Zephyr.
I think she's a good leader, honestly. Zephyr's a
She,
right?
yeah.
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 Yep.
I think she's a good leader.
I wasn't sure. I'm not too, I don't know, as self-confident as Zephyr. Like, maybe not as self-assured, as certain that I know what the right thing is. But maybe that's what we need right now.
We need
I have
followers.
to say, I had my skepticism that she'd be right, not to be the overseer in normal times, but obviously these are not normal times and require extraordinary people. But perhaps the gods really do have a plan.
These are times of war, and we need to be ready, and we need to support our leader, Zephyr, in anything that she chooses.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I'm coming around to the idea slowly.
If she makes a mistake, I'm sure that the council at the very end will be the ones to decide that. I kind of shrug. But until then, I'm going to follow my leader's orders.
A good soldier.
Okay.
I nod.
All right, and we settle in for a drink and
You see
wait.
this here?
Yeah.
And I show you my little totem that I'm making. I'm making a fertility totem, Koibu, but I want to kind of go about it like the way of like, he doesn't really know he's like making a fertility totem yet. So he's just like making something.
That's lovely. What is it?
I don't know. I wanted to whittle something, and I was thinking moon for a stair. Or, not a stair. Silly me. For a Raluna.
Belumbra.
No, that's the goddess of passion.
Belumbra.
Falumbra.
Close.
Belumbra.
That's beautiful.
Falumbra.
Well,
Thank you.
I didn't know you had such an artistic. Who knew that someone so skilled at making weapons of war could make something so delicate and beautiful?
Well, you see, I'm not a wartime blacksmith. Usually we're just making hoes and...
I guess. Yeah.
He says as he carves his fertility totem.
Yeah. Here, you know
Wait.
what? You want it?
Is it finished? I say.
You give me another day and it'll be done.
Sure. Yeah. I have a question about the fertility totem, Neil. Does it make you more fertile, or does it just make you horny?
No, it does not affect your sex drive. It
Okay.
affects fertility
Okay.
in one of two ways. You can either increase or decrease fertility.
Yeah. I actually love the idea of decreasing someone's fertility.
It's actually wasted on me because I'm not fertile.
Because
at
you're
all.
infertile, yeah.
Yeah.
But who knows? You know, it's a fertility totem.
Yeah. You never know. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the day can pass in the tavern. Everyone gets a little bit of stuff. Zephyr, I think you spend the least amount of time hanging with people. A lot more time is needed at the excavation site. People are like pulling rocks out. People are clearing things down. There's scaffolding that's being built. It's a big work project, and it always is helpful to have like one person with a vision who can direct efforts to keep everything streamlined. So you're going to spend a lot of time doing that.
Absolutely.
A gentle rain. Oh, go ahead.
The only other main thing that I would want to do is make sure I get someone to put supplies together if we do need to do another excursion out onto the island.
I think
But
we're
other than
gonna,
that,
right?
it's like, yeah. I would get
you-
get rations together, make sure we know, okay, can we get a
Hard
couple
tack.
horses, etc. Just basic supplies, right? Be like, I'm going to hopefully have a meeting with the guys either tonight or tomorrow and talk about, do we need to go back out? Do we want to focus on the town? Do you guys want to get to laboring? Like, what are we going to do?
No, that's-
like Cedric's
that's
really
great.
strong. Maybe he would be really good, you know.
You have you had 12 wardens. Three that died?
3 or 4 went missing. They went missing. We don't know if
Right,
we didn't
right.
find their corpses.
Right. 3 went missing, right? They didn't die. There are 3 missing
said
wardens,
died.
and then well, out of play, let's call it. So that leaves 9, and then
Plus the guy who was punished today, I made him an honorary, or I appointed him, who is going to become the next warden
Yeah.
for his service to the town.
Excellent. So one of the other things that you're going to end up doing today, since you've made that appointment, is there are a couple of retired wardens in and around town. Not everyone wardens to death. At a certain point, people just get too old to keep doing their job. So you have a few retired wardens who are the perfect people to train this new person. Since you're normally this might fall to you, to the overseer, to train the up-and-comers, but it's clear to everyone bigger things are going on, and
Yep.
so some of these other wardens, retired ones, can begin the training of the new guy. It'll take a while. It'll take a long while, but It can
One
burn
of
in
the
the back for
specific
now.
orders I will give them is that, like, all out-of-town training without my presence is banned. So I only want the training that happens inside town because I don't want people going out into the wilderness because of the goblins.
Perfect.
In
Yeah.
particular, untrained people who might end up dead.
Okay. Excellent. So you're getting go bags made, supplies ready. That's one of your other wardens is putting together some supply bags for you. A retired warden's going to train the new person whose name was like Bromit.
Something like that.
That sounds
Yeah.
right.
Boa, I think was his name.
Ooh. Like the constrictor.
Yeah, or the feather. Great. It's a slow, quiet day. There's a gentle rain that falls, and when everyone gets up the next morning, there's a light fog that's covered the town and the lake. Not uncommon at all in this area.
Just
We all
FYI,
get a friend.
Bromit's the mayor, right?
Bromit is the mayor. Boa
Yeah.
is the... yeah.
Cool.
Good job. Good
Where
remembering.
did you pull that information from?
My
Jesus.
notes.
Okay. Never mind. I am a lot less impressed.
Well, this next day, Sunday the 14th of November, there's another visitor by boat.
Oh, shit.
And this time it gets caught very early, well before anything else happens. There's still a gentle fog and a gentle rain that's covering everything, making it difficult to see. Like, the old man that showed up, he could see the wall as soon as he landed on shore. This new boat that lands has 3 people in it. And from the shore, you can't see the cliffs. And this time, the wardens are gathered quietly while these people arrive. They make landfall, they come in and start talking to folks in the town, and a few good citizens who, what do you say, there's a term that's plastered in subway walls. See something, say something. A few good citizens
Exactly.
who see something come and say something. They go and get Zephyr. They go and get the other wardens and try to gather everyone quickly together at Zephyr's house, the overseer's house, number 4 on the map.
I gather as many of the wardens as I can, and I give instructions to find the other wardens and get them sent to the beach. And I head straight to the beach to meet with these new folk.
All right. The whole party is
Yeah.
going to be here. The other wardens are going to be pulling in. Before you get to the beach, like as you're walking to the beach,
I say to
what's the
Zephyr,
conversation like? What's the air like?
Zephyr, what are you going to do?
We're going to tell them we're in deep trouble, or rather, things have happened and we need them to leave. Or first of all, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find out what they're here for, and then based on what they're here for and whether or not they're just passing through, I'll kind of look over my shoulder as we're walking down to the beach, and I'll be like, can't really see the rock face right now, so if they don't go too deep into town, we could just send them on their way. Say like, oh, it's a bad day for trade. You guys should move on, sort of thing. We'll figure it out. We'll play it by the fly. But the basic rule is, the worst thing I plan on doing to them is imprisoning them. If they're here to do anything nefarious.
Are we allowed kind of like tell them to just leave? Is that okay?
Of course. This is our town. I'm in charge.
It's our island, right? It's
We're
our town, yeah, it's-
we're in the middle of painful circumstances, and we're not exactly the most welcoming people in the best of times. So depending on who they are, they'll find out.
What if they see the guy's boat? Did we get rid of it?
What?
I mean, it's just a boat. Unless
Do you remember the old man?
identifying markings on it?
I don't
It's
remember.
just a
Yeah.
boat. Did it have special identifying markings on it? If it did, we would have gotten it removed.
I just had a thought.
Boats
that, like,
aren't mass produced. Sorry,
Yeah.
Nick. Boats aren't mass produced in this time. They're kind of like made by hand. So each boat is sort of distinct, but unless you know whose boat that is, like if you have a relationship with that person, you might be able to identify it. But
We would have had that boat taken away then, and or like pushed out to sea.
Basically chopped
well,
up,
no-
chopped,
yeah.
chopped up for firewood.
No,
Just
wait,
chopped up.
room.
Sure, yeah.
There's no point
Easy
to
thing.
ruin a perfectly good boat. We used to pay 1,000 gold for a boat back in the day in Tides of Death.
That's true.
Okay, well then we'll keep this boat, but let's move it. We would have had it moved out of the shore if it
Yeah,
can
okay.
be.
I say, Zephyr, are we worried that if we start
Not
turning
yet.
people away from the island, that word's going to get back to the Verasi army that something's going on? I mean, maybe we haven't got a
It could
choice.
be. it could happen that way. But
We need to cover up that door as soon as possible.
all we can do is buy time. And turning people away buys us time. Even if the news gets to the Varasi Empire, it will take time. And hopefully by the time that the word gets to them, it will take them some time to get here. And then by the time they get here, we will have made our preparations and covered up everything we can cover. Like, they will get here and not know to search for a door or search for evidence. We will just say, like, oh, we don't know what happened.
We won't be able to stop them. If they come, we're going to have to let them look around, yeah?
Of course, that's why we're buying time.
I mean,
the more time we have,
if I-
the easier our secrets are to hide.
if I can say something here, guys, like you guys keep talking about how we need to like let them look. It's and I'm new to this, so correct me if I'm wrong, but like this is kind of like our town, our island, and like
Correct.
we're the leaders here, and we're in charge of what you can't. Do you just if someone knocks on your door, you don't just and they're like, hey, we gotta check your place. If you're hiding like a guy that we lost, you're not like, yeah, come in, I don't care, right? Like this is I feel like we're being reasonable here by saying that they can't just like snoop around the island the entire time, right?
The problem is, Elijah, that sometimes a very big man comes to your door wielding a very big sword, and when you tell him he can't come into your house, he chops your head off.
And like I totally get that, and I hear what you're saying, but like I can
You say
shoot
that a lot, and I don't
fire.
think you do.
Elijah, you gotta. I know that you're from Just Stars Bay, but you gotta understand. You know, my mother, she's an elf, and over there in the Elven Forest, they're fighters like you can't imagine. They've got real magic, not some. No offense, not like us. You know, we barely know what we're doing. They've not been able to kick the Varasi Empire out of their forest, so I think we should be cautious before we get into a fight that we can't win.
I mean, nobody wants that to happen, obviously, right? But like, we didn't do. I'm just saying we didn't do anything wrong. But also, like, they don't need to go any further than they need to. And if they force their way in, then and that's that. But
Elijah,
it's not like
you're
we did anything
100%
wrong.
right.
Huh?
If we can stop them from coming into the town,
Yeah.
then that is something we will try to do. But that's an
Right.
analysis we'll make based on whether or not how many people they bring and how aggressive they are. Right now, our best defense is secrecy, hiding what has happened, protecting hordes of Varasi stooges and underlings swarming all over our pristine,
Right.
beautiful lands, imprisoning,
like,
interrogating.
hiding
Not
what
integrated.
happened. It's not like there's anything to hide, right, guys? Not like anything did happen. So we're fine. It's all good.
All right, let's just go see what these people are.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You get down to the beach, and there's a middle-aged man with maybe in his 40s or 50s with upper end of teenage kids, somewhere between 16 and 20 years old. The middle-aged man is there chatting with a couple of the fishermen who were working on their nets down by the beach. And the fishermen seem to have, successfully held these people at the water for a little while.
Nice.
And the four of you start coming up. Now, are you guys wearing armor, or are you just wearing your clothes? Do you bring weapons?
I'm
what is
wearing
your
my short
appearance?
sword, but I'm not wearing armor.
I'm wearing my regular breastplate. I'm bringing my shield. This is just like another patrol day. This is how honestly, if you're on the job, it's kind of how you're dressed.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay. So you're
I
dressed as a
imagine
warden.
being a warden.
Yeah.
Being a warden is like a citizen soldier. You always have at least your arm, your weapon on you.
Yeah. I never
You
really
could-
got a warden uniform or anything, so I'm just wearing my
Yeah,
your badge, I
someone gave you some red clothes because your other clothes didn't quite fit you,
Right,
and there were some
right.
temporary warden robes that you've been granted, which you can change out for something else.
I would I would be wearing those for now. I think I kind of like them.
All right.
Right,
So it looks like
um,
Cedric is wearing armor and with a weapon, and Riven is showing up with a weapon.
Yeah.
And Zephyr is coming in full overseer garb.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I'll,
Okay.
I'll sort of
Excellent.
say to the party as we make our way towards them, I say, just follow my lead. I'll open the conversation.
Yes, ma'am.
So I walk up and I say, greetings. Hello, my name is Zephyr.
Oh, you're
what
the
business
new
do you have
overseer.
That's right.
The man puts out a
pleasure to
hand.
meet you.
The name's Rory. Jane over here was just telling me that there was a new overseer in town, and the old one died. My condolences. I believe that was your grandfather.
That's correct.
1,000 apologies. I barely knew the man. Met him only once or twice, but he seemed an honest fellow.
Very sad. Very sad.
Your
for all of
condolences
us.
are very welcome. And I'll nod at Elijah saying, yeah, it's the town is still somewhat in mourning since his passing. It was only a few days ago.
I was just telling Jane that my kids and I, we saw the comet in the sky, and it seemed to land in Fiscat Lake somewhere, and we've been going to a couple different islands trying to find out where it did so that we could come and pay our respects to the goddess, the god who arrived. Or, you know, at least see the site. They run the world, they make everything happen, and I wanted to be one of the first ones to come and pay respects to whichever deity came. Who came to land? Do you know?
We do not know for certain at this time. However, we do have our suspicions, although all will be confirmed according to the legends. I believe, and I'll turn to Nick's character, whose name I forget, Riven, and I'll say, we'll know exactly who has come down based on the constellations when they appear. Correct?
That's right. Yeah, we've been studying the stars. Obviously, it'll be a lack of stars that indicates who came, so it'll take some time to see the full cycles until we can confirm it. But as of yet, we're not sure.
And I'll say, if you guys knew our overseer, hey, where are you from?
I'm from Carrick Island, just a little down the way. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Beautiful little spot. Yeah.
Okay, Neil, when he tells me he's from Carrick Island, do I know the general shape of the islands on the lake? Because I'm about to do some trigonometry here. I'm going to tell him that the comet came down. Like, okay, I'm going to draw this on the map so you can see it, right? So let's say this is our island, okay? This is his island. If there's an island behind us, I'm going to tell him, oh, that landed on that island. So it's like, if you want to go see it, you should go to that one.
Okay. Yeah, because his next question is like, did the comet land here? I could have sworn I've just gone to Zaffi Island, and they said that it looked like it landed over here, and I've come and it's been foggy, and I was asking Jane about it, and Jane said that she's been out on the water and just got home this morning and just been working on the nets and hadn't seen what was going on, and I was hoping to come and take a look. It didn't land here?
No, it looks like it almost landed on, and I'll name whatever the island is on the other side.
Give it a
and
name.
I'll say,
Give it a name.
On Thornbrook Island, but it also looks like it landed. Some of us have speculated that maybe it landed in the sea or in the lake rather, because we've sent expeditions out to search and we haven't found anything on land. And some of the people in town said it looked like it landed here. Some people who were out there said it looked like it landed on Thornbrook.
I've heard all sorts of stories
told
about
me,
where it landed. People are saying all sorts of things, right? I mean, it was an exciting night that night. People saw. I've heard people say it landed over all the way in Just Stars Bay, or in the forest, or in the desert. You know, I've heard accounts of pretty much all angles at this point.
Well, one of the
You know
good
how it is
stories
when
that they
crazy
saw
things
like a
happen.
huge cannonball in the ocean.
What's a cannonball?
I kind of explain how like when something like big goes in, like water goes up. So we think it landed in the ocean actually.
And I'll also say to them that although there is a reason we've come down here armed, it's because since the comet landed, strange things have been happening on this island. Has your town been attacked as well?
He nods slowly.
We've been attacked in the night by strange creatures.
We've had monstrous fish with legs and spears come out of the lake and
I feel like he's
plunder
lying.
and raid.
That sounds awful.
You feel like he's lying?
Monstrous fish.
Yeah, I feel like he's lying. Can I check?
Give him a
what is
lie
it?
check, Koibu.
Yeah, why don't you give me a charisma check? You have failed. You think you're suspecting that this might not be true.
I give
I
him,
have
like,
no
a
reason.
suspicious look.
I love that this is just a conversation that isn't about him coming into town.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I take out a piece of paper, I take out a pen, I start taking down notes. Okay, I'm like, Which knights were you attacked? Because this sounds very similar to our attacks. Which knights were attacked? How many numbers? Did anyone get hurt? What happened? I go into full detective.
This is good to
Pummeling
know,
him for
too,
information.
Because now we have a reason not to let people on the island of we're getting bad attacked. You
It's
don't want to come
dangerous.
here right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he says that there were somewhere between 2 and 4, because no one got a good count on it, of these, legged fish people. By the way, Elijah, when you're detecting lies, you either get a response of true, false, or unsure. And with that failure, you're unsure.
Yes. Yeah.
This could be the truth. This could be a lie. You're not quite certain.
Yeah.
But he says it was somewhere between 2 and 4 of these fishy creatures, and they came onto the beaches and raided boats that had been left on the beaches because it was in the evening. And then they went back into the sea. And people saw them, but there wasn't actually any violence. But they had spears and threw one towards a house as a warning when someone came out to look at him. Or maybe they were trying to hit the person and just missed. But there was an act of aggression, and then the fishmen went back into the water.
Back into the water.
And I'll ask him, how many nights has that happened?
It was just one on Tuesday. Tuesday evening. The comet landed Wednesday morning.
I'll
so the day
sigh and I'll
before.
go, the attacks are so much worse here every night. Oh my god. Okay. I can't. We've already lost 3 wardens. I can't. Look, I
By
can't
the
let you guys stay on this
gods.
island. I can't let you guys stay on this island. It's way too dangerous. Listen, go to Thornbrook. Maybe they know where the thing landed, but we're over there trying to build defenses. We're trying to build a stockade around the town.
Right.
And we don't even have people staffing the bar. We don't even have people staffing the tavern. We can't really welcome you. Do you need supplies? Do you need anything? We have some stuff we can give you, but
No, we can get home by the end of day or onto Thornbrook. We could have just sworn it landed here. We didn't see any, would you call it cannonball? We didn't see any of that. It looked more like a land impact. It would have come the same day, but everyone was very worried.
I turn and I look over at the 9 wardens. Or is the 10th guy here yet? He's probably getting trained by the older ones.
Yeah, he's not ready to be here, but the other 9 are.
I say, you know of our island's customs. We normally have 12 wardens. I have 9 now. And that's barely
They've all
enough.
come to see me.
Well, there's not all of us there, right? Not every warden.
He brought all of them.
Oh,
Jamie
okay,
said.
yeah.
Yeah, and I say, this is all we have left, and I don't know how many I'm going to have, so I would recommend against exploring our island right now, at least until we can assure you that it's safe. You're welcome to chill here for now, but the town is on high alert. People are kind of scared because of the attacks.
Were you also attacked by the fishmen?
No, we got goblins, strange
Owlbears.
goblin-like creatures, little
Goblins,
and owlbears and all sorts of
owlbears
things
and
have been coming out of the woodwork.
it's-
And these
yeah.
are things that have never been seen. Have you
The
seen
reason we all
fishermen on your
came
island
here-
before?
Never.
The reason we all came is because we're afraid from what comes from the sea next, and it sounds like we should be.
Yeah, it feels like nature has been turning against us, and it's maybe this is some curse by who's the goddess of nature?
Nadinus.
Nadinus.
Yeah, the creatures of the forest and sea and land and air, and they've been turning against us, and it's really scary out here. So
I was worried that Malchus of Rossi had come, that the creatures were a sign of death or chaos, and I mean, all the gods are good in my eyes. I was hoping to pay respects, and maybe my prayers might keep my people safe. By the way, these are my son Scout, and my daughter Sophie.
How old, Sophie?
Sophie, Scout. Sophie is 16 to 17, and
old
Scout
is
is
Scout?
19 to 20.
Okay.
are they good fighters? We could use fighters to just hold off these monsters. And I'm like,
Kind of
and
steps
now
in
I'm
front
like
of his
sizing
kids.
them.
No. We're fishermen. Like
Everybody
so
on the
many
island is
here.
taking up arms, though. We could use you.
Well,
two.
fishermen, are they good with a spear?
We use nets
I don't like-
primarily.
Hey, boy, have you ever used
That's
a spear?
unfortunate.
I think perhaps we should move on. You said Thornbrook it might have landed at. We'll go take a look at Thornbrook. And when we go back home, back to Carrick, we'll stop by and let you know what happened over there.
Yes, please. We might need your help.
Please
Thank
do.
you.
Make sure to stop
Please
by.
do. And bring soldiers if you can, of young age that could be trained to defend this town. young, impressionable.
We're getting every young man and young woman armed with a spear.
This
He
island
looks
is a
exceedingly
bloodbath.
nervous.
I
Is it really?
How much?
You should see what the owlbear did. You should see the
Oh,
kids it
by the
ate.
gods. Have you thought about leaving? Carrick's not
is
a
our whole-
large
our whole
island, but
lives
we
here.
could.
We're gonna defend it to our
maybe-
last breath.
I turned to Cedric and
Maybe
say,
it's
"Don't
time to
scare
reach
the
out to
man."
Justar's Bay. I know that the Empire of Arasi is maybe not the nicest people in the world, but a couple of
We can handle
ogres
it.
stationed on the island.
Cedric is exaggerating. We only lost one child.
I guess I should have said child versus children. I'm sorry.
Jakes has said this is a terrible loss.
But you have a
Well-
son. Could you spare him?
Of course not. Don't be outrageous.
I understand. But sometimes people have spares, you know.
He's the first
I
son,
think-
not the second son.
I think we'll be going now.
Well, thank
as
you.
they turn back to their boat, I want to break away from the line and run up to them to speak with them quietly.
Mm-hmm.
So I like jog up to them and catch up with them, and I kind of whisper and I say, you know, guys, just be careful when you go to Thornbrook, and when you come back here, don't hang around for too long because Zephyr really is looking for troops, and I can tell looking at you guys that this isn't for you. You should go back to Carrick where it seems safer.
He nods a few times.
Stay safe.
I
Right,
think we'll
grab his
have
arm.
to. There's a couple of small islands that make it easy to get to navigate from Carrick to Aknara, even the fog. But I don't think there's any markers on the lake to get to Thornbrook. I think we'll go back to Carrick, and when the fog clears, we'll make our way to Thornbrook.
Well,
I'm sorry that things are so bad here.
Well, it's okay. It's okay. We're all dealt our hand by the gods. It's, you know, my mother always said, what's meant for you will never go past you.
He shakes your hand, hops in the boat, pushes it out, and together with his kids, they start rowing out and into the fog, and then you see them like sharply change their angle because, as he said, it's hard to navigate in the fog. We don't have GPS, we don't have radar, we don't have inertial navigation. You can only navigate by your eyes, and in the fog, you can't really go anywhere. So he takes those little tiny rocks that stick out of the water and finds his way back to Carrick Island.
Okay, good. I go back to the group and say, you guys handled that quite well. I think you really scared them with the recruitment thing.
Absolutely. Well, look, sometimes you have to say whatever you have to save lives.
Good work.
In this
Yeah.
case, it was
Right.
their lives that we were saving.
Right.
I turned to the wardens and I say, we need to make sure the town knows that these people on the beach have been sent home. Tensions are going to be high after yesterday. People might even be on their way already to try and, you know, stop us from doing whatever they think we might do to them. So let's spend an hour, make sure everyone in the town knows what happened here. Meet back at the acting town hall, and we'll have a chat about our plans for the day.
Roll out.
Autobots, roll out.
I go.
We're gonna let the
I
town
go-
know what happened.
I fulfill my orders.
Okay.
Do we have a town bell?
We have to stop
The-
panic spreading by letting people know
Yeah.
what happened.
I feel like ringing the bell might cause panic. I
No,
think it's
no, no.
better
I'm
do
not
it
saying to
with-
ring it. I'm just wondering if we have it.
We must
The
have
church
town
has a bell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
In the future, if people come, we could maybe set up a plan in motion to be like, I don't know, an hour in, ring the bell so it looks like there's an emergency, blah, 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 so people will fuck off, etc. But
Yeah.
just an idea.
The bells have specific meanings. You usually ring them at specific times. You could find a bell pattern or bell code that would not interfere with the normal operation of these things. Not a problem. The bell can be heard across the whole town and up and down the coast a little smidgy bit, and it can definitely be heard out to the lake, you know, a mile or so when it's ringing properly. So if you want to set something up, not a problem.
Also, I want to
Okay.
compliment the party for their tremendous work in assisting me in diverting those guys. Well done, guys.
No one did
Like,
any.
in character.
Yeah.
No one did
Oh,
wackiness.
good. Thank you. Yeah. No wackiness. Well, thank
Yeah,
you. We're all here to
I
help
compliment
you.
Elijah especially. I'm like, well done, Elijah. You're doing a great job joining our culture.
Thank you, man.
I mean, one of
It's I like to think that it's where I've always belonged, and
We need to get your wife down here. I'd love to meet her.
I don't mind if she takes another couple months, if you know what I'm saying.
Wise.
What are you saying?
You know how it is. As I say as I realize what your gender is.
I smile, knowing that I've twisted his mind a little bit there for a moment.
As the party heads back into town, everyone can mark 100 experience for the successful, extremely successful diversion of these people and information operations achieved here.
All right.
Huge. Great work.
We've
guys.
done it.
We've done it, guys.
Done it.
We bought time.
Are we
All
going
we're
into the
doing right now is
wilderness
buying time.
the next day? Did we want to go back out there?
This is where the conversation's going to happen after we spread the news of what happened, right? For about an hour.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna heal everybody
Alright,
up.
so I think we're all.
I wasn't full.
I'm full health.
I assume we're having a meeting, unless anything happens in the meantime.
Yeah, you guys can just have your meeting.
All right. I address the wardens and I say, "Okay, guys, we avoided a major incident today. Well done. All of you performed exemplary. I'm really proud of you. We've started working as an amazing team. There's, especially you, Elijah. You did really, really well. You're thinking quick on your feet. I can tell why you've been such a successful person in your career. What's our next step? Suggestions?
So
I have a suggestion.
I was just talking to Cedric about this actually, like, because I was thinking, like, what is, you guys know about comparative advantage, right? What is the best way we can utilize our skill set for the town right now? And we've been walking around a lot and doing tasks here and there that, let's face it, a lot of other people can do, but, and I realized this during the conversation with the people on the beach, we are wardens, okay? And we've been granted special powers by the gods for some reason. I don't want to say too much, but like, it kind of feels like we're chosen for something special here. And there is probably still a lot of goblins and other monsters. There's fish monsters coming out the sea and other places that we have no reason to think that this is going to stop, right? So I think personally, going out, searching for more stuff like that, fighting and protecting our town in a way that only we can, it's the way to go.
We did say, Zephyr, you asked me, if you remember, I told you about those strange flowers that were growing on the side of the hill. We never did get a chance to check that out. Maybe we can kill two birds with one stone. Perhaps we could go there and see what that's about. Maybe we'll run into more of Elijah's target practice.
Right.
Absolutely. I also want to make sure that we maybe check the spine again to see if any more goblin fortifications have been constructed. However, I am also considering the possibility that our labor is better used here in the town. The excavation of the stone face and the construction of the building to hide it could make use of. I'll kind of glance at Cedric. Strong hands.
And done. I mean, have we thought about just chopping the fucking door down?
If it is truly magical.
That seems not a good idea to me.
All right. Yeah, we
would
can.
you
We can
try to
build
chop a
something.
dragon?
I mean, how else would you kill it?
But I think if there's no other ideas, I do think Elijah has a point. Now is a time of change, and we should go explore and see what has changed about this island. However, before we go, I would like to go see how progress is coming on the doorway.
One thing I wanted to point
Care to join
out,
me?
which I think is important, we weren't sure if maybe the goblins were like a defense mechanism of the fortress. I guess that could still be true, but with these fish people attacking Carrick Island,
Yeah.
maybe the monsters are more linked to the gods than they are to the fortress specifically. And
Unfortunately, knowing the origins of the creatures does not bring back 3 wardens or make it easier to fight them.
agreed.
At least
I
as
think
far
that's
as I can
another
see.
reason to get out there, because there's 3 wardens out there that still need a proper burial, and we still don't know what happened
Yeah.
to them. So we should really
Yeah.
be finding them. And one other thing that I would just like to maybe point out, great that the door has appeared, if that's what it is. Most fortresses have more than one door.
You make an excellent point.
Most
something to
I
fortresses
still would
are
like to inspect
magical.
the door.
I
That's
mean,
true.
even if it has more than one door, why would we go and find another one when we have this one?
I'm just
We've been
saying-
looking for this other door
Some
for a
doors-
billion years, and we
I'm
finally
saying that
found
this
one.
this door has appeared.
Mhm.
We've not checked the whole mesa. We don't know that there isn't something else that's appeared somewhere else.
Agree with that, yeah. So I think we should get back out there, yeah.
Yeah, we built
The
it
worst
back out there,
case-
but I do think it's important to check progress because some of these symbols around the door may have been excavated by now, which might make it easier for us to figure out
Yeah,
what's
that's
going
true.
on.
as
Did
well.
we get XP from last time?
I think so. Yeah.
Yes, we've been handing it out as it's
As we
been
go.
happening.
Okay, I'm at 537.
Same.
Everyone should be at the same.
No, 637.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
actually
at
just got 100 XP.
637
Yeah,
because you go to the
637
100.
after the 100 we got.
Actually, I don't think we got XP for the
trial.
trial. Yeah.
Okay.
Um.
I suppose we got 363 XP, did we?
No.
I'm
At
honestly
the
not worried about leveling
trial,
up.
I'm hyped to level up because
I'm hyped to level up.
I'm chilling.
being able to only cast one spell is kind of mid, as the kids would say.
The thing I feel about leveling up is the challenge just grows with your level. So I want to vibe it out where we are.
Well,
Yeah.
kinda.
It's about
Everyone
options.
gets
It's
a-
about options.
100 XP for the trial.
Okay.
And then we're going to do a little bit of extra because I think Zephyr, you gave an impassioned speech as like the leader about what was going on there and tried to direct the trial. So you're also getting another 50 for your efforts,
Just for Zephyr.
just for Zephyr, personal.
Amazing.
We're not taking 10%, right?
I don't think anyone has 10%.
Yeah, I actually don't. Never mind.
I'm happy
Yeah,
to vibe
no
it.
one has the stats for it. Yep, we're good there.
Cool.
Perfect.
So
7:30
you're gonna
sound.
check on the wall,
I
right?
I will ask you, Neil, are you ready for me to check on the wall, or could someone convince me to check it tomorrow, aka next session, when you've maybe had time to update it?
Buddy, I am ready for everything.
I go
There is
straight to
no
the door.
wrong answer.
I
Yeah.
bring them. We go to the door.
Excellent. Get my town music. It's still raining and foggy. Right. So you make your way back up to the cliffside. And there's been progress today. And the fog is a nice time to work because as you're heating up, you're also cooling down. It's a pleasant atmosphere to be doing a lot of manual labor in, at least in this section. And rock is falling away pretty easily. A lot of scaffolding has been built to make it easier to get up and down. Rocks are being cleared away. I had mentioned before that there was like an archway that was still partially covered by rocks. Now that the scaffolding has been built up and rock has been cleared away from below, the sides are being chipped off, from the bottom going on the way up. And it's here on the left side of the doorway that an unusual recess has been discovered. I'd mentioned that there were like markings and runes on this on the archway around it. One of these areas where rock was chipped away has left a recessed section, maybe an eighth of an inch, which is what, like a couple, like half centimeter or something. An eighth of an inch wide and maybe a half inch tall.
So does
Like
it
a
look
little
kind of almost like a
rectangular
key?
slot. It looks like a
yes.
rectangular slot. It could look like a keyhole, yes.
Does it look purposeful,
Do I have a
or
unique
does it?
warden amulet?
It does look purposeful.
Okay.
It does look purposeful. You have a warden amulet like the others, but yours is not unique. It's the same as all the others. And they're way
I'm
too
like-
large to fit in this.
This is something
Try
I
it.
should
I mean,
consider.
magic is at work, right?
True.
Does
I-
it look
I try to push the-
unnaturally like made, or is it like super smooth, sharp cut, like maybe done through magic, or does it look like it would maybe have been cut by hand?
You can make really good cuts by hand, depending on the type of stone. So this doesn't look necessarily magical, but I mean, it's the floating fortress of Ferris.
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
It's precision made, Yeah.
Yeah,
And this
everything
is the
here is
only
well
slot of its
done.
kind.
Well, so far, right? There's still
far.
much rock left to be uncovered.
I want to touch and feel out the slot, and I want to touch the symbols. I'm trying to like give me inspiration, right? I'm like standing here, it's like there's something here. This is something, and it's the herald of change. It's the changing of the world. Like, I just want to stand in it and touch it and see if I come to any ideas. What is the slot?
Yeah,
Like,
people
can I
make
put
some room.
Can I put a pinky in it? Can I stick my hand in it?
It's too small, right? An eighth of an inch? It's tiny.
That's why I'm vibing it out. I'm like, okay, what am I looking for that could fit in here?
I think I
if this is
might
a
have got my
keyhole?
measures off. It's probably a 1/4 inch by 3/4 of an inch. An eighth is really small. Yeah,
You could fit like
1/4
a
by
finger in?
3/4.
Just about, I guess, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, you could probably squeeze, like if you were to let the flesh on your pinky squish pretty tightly, you could
Yeah.
like shove a pinky in there. But you know what they say about sticking body parts into strange holes.
Yes, I'm not trying to like shove my hand in there, but I'm touching it. I'm like, what? Does anything go in here? What goes in here? I like. Do I have a light spell?
What about,
do
like,
not.
a coin?
I try to get a piece of light or something and like shed light down the hole. I'm like, what is
You
it?
don't
What's
have a
going on
light
here?
spell yet, maybe ever. Your magic. Just a side note about magic. We're starting you off with some basic stuff. Your magic will expand pretty rapidly as we get going, but since we have new magic systems, I wanted to gently roll us
Yeah.
into things.
I try to get light into the slot. So like, if I can see, like, is there
Yeah.
a trigger mechanism? Is there something?
This is one of those things that's difficult in the old world. Now we have flashlights, super easy. The only source of light in the old world is fire. So you could put like a flame in front of you, but then you couldn't see it. And if you put a flame behind you, your head's going to block the view. Looking down a narrow slot like this, exceedingly difficult. Maybe if you had a highly polished piece of metal, you could put a flame over here and bounce the light, and you could maybe try some contraption like that, but then the flame's going to blind you. The short answer is
got
that
an
like
idea.
it's dark and you can't see.
Sorry, before you said, we don't, there's no, like, light stone on the island. I mean, there might be. Someone could potentially have a light stone.
Someone could
got an
potentially
idea.
have a light stone.
Can I get a twig that's like small enough to fit in the hole and like
Yeah.
wrap a tiny little bit of thing and make it smolder just so I can get a little bit of light in there? Like if I'm just like, you know how like with just the glow of a tiny ember, like maybe I could get a little bit of vision.
Yeah, you would need darkness around you. You'd need to be like covered in a canvas cloth or something because it's too bright outside. Or you would need to wait until it's nighttime to be able to do this. But otherwise,
I
like
take
the
note
brightness
that
of
this is
outside
something
will
to do
kill
when
you.
we get back.
Yeah.
Perfect. I say this is something to. I mentioned the idea to the party. I'm like, oh, okay, we'll come back at night and we'll figure this out, but maybe tomorrow.
You're on something though here because you could stick stuff in there, pinky aside. Like you could find a thin twig and start shoving it in there.
Well, I try a coin. Would a coin fit?
You're gonna lose
Three-quarters,
the coin in there and it's gonna
maybe
get
the
stuck.
right space for a coin. The right size for a coin.
Yeah, if you found the right size coin, it might fit. Now,
would-
the one thing we want to say about locks though
Getting it
is
back
if
out.
something
Yeah.
If something
I would
gets
use something
stuck
in
you can
there-
hold on to while you stick it in.
Yeah.
if you shove a twig in there and the twig breaks, like you might just be disabling that lock for all times, if it is a lock. But a coin, that's easy. That's not going to break.
Yeah.
It looks like a gold coin would definitely fit. A silver coin probably would fit too. Yeah, I think
So
a
I
silver
try
coin's
and
less than an
can,
inch.
can I determine that it's deeper than the width of the coin or not?
Yes.
It is deeper than that. Okay.
Yes.
Does my
Alright,
sword
well.
fit in it?
No. Maybe just the
Okay.
tip.
I'll get like a piece of twig that will
That's
be
probably
long enough
enough.
and whittle it, and I'll fiddle it to go as far as it will, and I'll try that. But obviously, I'm not trying to get it stuck in there. Does that make sense?
You're just trying to roughly measure
Yeah.
the depth.
I'm just trying to measure the depth and see if something goes in there. What happens?
Yeah, the depth appears to be about 3/4 of an inch too. So the height appears to be the same as the depth,
So
and
it's
then
a
the width
square.
is about.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's
So it's like a
cubic.
missing piece
slot.
or something.
It's like a
yeah.
square on its side, right?
Potentially.
Yeah.
As
Who
I-
knows what the geometry on the inside is like, but at least
yeah.
As I pull the stick up and I like poke around, does it feel like solid, or does it feel like there's like some other, like, you know how a
Mechanism.
lockpick would have like ins? Does it feel like there's something?
I have fucked around with a
I-
lockpicking set. You actually need to develop the feel to even be able to tell
Yeah.
that things are moving.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Okay,
Is
cool.
that you can poke around, but I don't think you have
I
the
don't feel
skills
that,
to
yeah.
really. Now, as not Jamie, Zephyr just said, that is a skill that can be developed. If you found someone who is proficient in lockpicking, they could probably tell you all sorts of stuff about this. But on your own, no.
Would I know anyone on the island who can lockpick?
You would. If someone on the island is lockpicking, they're definitely not telling anyone.
I guess
So
so.
no.
Yeah, okay.
And probably not. Like, I don't even know how many locks are on the island.
Yeah.
That's more of a city thing.
I guess so. That makes sense. Well,
Yeah.
Zephyr, maybe we should go
ahead.
out on patrol and come back to this at night when we can maybe kind of get a look inside.
Absolutely. The other thing is, do you recognize any of those new symbols that have been revealed?
Oh,
do we recognize any of the
I
symbols?
take a look at these
Yeah,
symbols.
I
Yeah.
also would like to take a careful look at it with my excellent skills in literacy and such things.
Yeah. So there is a symbol that is apparent on here that you will see. This symbol. Do you see this
Yeah.
black with blue lines, right? There's this symbol, which is visible at like the very apex of the doorway, and then on the sides. And this one, I'm calling this one out specifically because it looks on the apex and with these loops and everything. This one seems to be a little bit more important. It also is like 75% larger than the other symbols, and if the doorway is like has like this double band where the runes are, this symbol crosses over those bands because it's much larger. So this appears to be
So it's like a capstone.
right. That's exactly what it is. This is the capstone symbol. On the sides, there are dozens of others, and I'm gonna need. Why doesn't everyone give me a
Constitution check.
History,
No.
ancient, religion.
How about just a
no?
raw
Actually,
D20 each?
just Elijah, give me an intelligence check.
Of course, Neil. Boom,
The
there you
brains
go.
of the party. Oof.
No,
Unlucky.
no, none of these symbols are familiar to anyone.
Yeah,
I would've
so
passed
guys,
that check.
I'm looking at these symbols and I'm pretty sure I pretend to flick in a book. And yeah, I think this one's. Hold, give me a second here, guys. Give me like a day or two. I can figure this one out. Okay.
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 Wow, Elijah. That's really impressive.
While you're working on that. Actually, Elijah, do you think you should stay here while we adventure? So you can study them?
Well,
Yeah, that's probably
I
just for the
actually I drew them in my book, so I can actually do it on the go. It's no problem.
Are you sure? Like, what resources do you need in order to study these?
Oh, I was
whisper
just
to
This could be the
Cedric.
key to the future.
no,
He's
I
so
was just,
talented.
Could be the key to the future of our people.
I just feel like
He's
I
so smart.
remember them, so I just was gonna search my brain.
Cedric, this is so important to our people. Do you recognize any of these symbols? Like, what do you need to study these? Do you need books? We could get you books. I turn and I yell, "Get him books!"
Well, I mean, we need to get out there, and we need to go and find our guys. Can't he just take rubbings of these and then keep studying and looking?
Everything is an opportunity cost. Every day we don't explore is a day we
Zephyr,
don't look at this. Every day we don't look at this is a day we don't
if you-
explore.
All right, well, here, how about this? We have someone in town. Go and search. We have some books. Maybe they can bring them over and compare the symbols. Even if someone can't read, they can look at symbols like this and then find him the relevant pages to actually dig through. I doubt we're even going to have a
You're a
book on
genius.
anything like this.
I would also say, you know, like, we can only explore the island during the day. We should make use of the daylight hours while they're here, and we can do studying at night.
Zephyr will pinch
Yeah.
the bridge of her nose and sigh and say, this is not enough time to do everything. Okay, you're right. Let's go now.
All right. Shall I take you to the flowers?
Yes, please do.
Okay, that's where we'll start. So, we walk up to my house first, which is nearby the door. But this is my standard walking route. So it takes us about 2 hours to get to the river basin where the flowers were
Before we
growing on
go-
the side of the hill.
Before we go, we do collect the supplies I had gathered.
Yes, yes. We're setting off midday. It's about 2 hours there. So you could go get these things and come back in one day without any problems. Further adventuring might mean camping overnight.
Okay.
So everyone packs up supplies.
Yeah.
How many days of food are you taking?
3, 4.
Okay.
How long were we out last time?
3
Last
days?
time was like 3 or 4 days. Yeah, let's take 4 days worth of food just in case.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, 4 days. Cedric, you're smart.
Now,
All right.
just to throw one more monkey wrench in your plans, if you are gone for 4 days and someone else shows up to the island in town, you won't be there to manage the situation. And now we're getting into this. There's a little interesting thing here where the more adventuring you do, the more away from your town you are, the more you have to sort of give up control of what's going on there. Because anyone could show up at any moment.
We have 5 other wardens staying here.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I just
yeah,
give them
have
some-
some-
put these
Let's give them
things-
some standing orders. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to make
this
sure
is-
that you're aware that there are consequences. I know
Yeah.
you might not be tending to be out for 4 days, but if you are out for 4 days, who knows what could show up in town without you to oversee it.
Zephyr wants to
just-
be back tonight.
Okay. Cool.
For those exact reasons, because she's like
Yeah,
afraid
right.
of the town. Like
Right.
These are her. She doesn't want to be away from her charges, right?
But just to be sure, because sometimes you get sidetracked and bigger fish come up, 4 days of
true.
supplies. Okay.
I would argue for 3, but Cedric convinces me of 4.
Just to have it. It's better to have it than
Just in
not.
case.
All right, we set out.
Emergency
We
supplies.
give the standing order that if someone comes, you're to send them away with stories of horror of what's happening on this island, but don't make it too bad to where they're gonna go tell Just Stars Bay that we need help.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's try and get him
Island
to
isn't
join.
safe. We can't guarantee your safety.
Would you like to join our crew?
And
Yeah,
Cedric,
we need
once again,
soldiers.
you're carrying Riven's supplies, because Riven,
How much are rations weigh?
2 pounds per day.
All right, so I need 8 pounds of rations.
Yeah, you need 16 because you're carrying
16.
Riven's.
Perfect. I'm carrying it in my bag.
Perfect. All right, everyone heads out. Lovely
Hold on.
little walk.
We're grabbing. Let's all look at our character sheets real quick because we need to start having actual things on our character sheets. How much is a shovel weigh, Neil?
I've got my handy dandy little equipment.
Yeah, I'm
list
gonna
right
throw
here.
out a few of them. So it's gonna be shovel, rope, pick.
Right.
bed
Anything
rolls.
that's on your character sheet you have. Anything that isn't on your character sheet you don't have. Shovel is 4 pounds. You can get one of those.
Do we all
Okay.
need
You
bedrolls?
can just take it from your yard.
Yeah.
If you want a bedroll, I think you can scrounge some up. In this period right now, I think you're just borrowing resources. The
From the
town
town,
will let
yeah.
you borrow things for time to time, but if you keep borrowing people's bedrolls, they're going to ask you just to buy your own eventually. The goodwill only lasts for so long. Bedrolls are 5 pounds.
Okay.
What else did you want?
A pickaxe, 50 feet of rope, 100 feet of rope.
Pickaxe is 5 pounds. Thin rope is 8 pounds per 50 feet, and they only come in 50-foot segments. You
Yeah.
might be able to get some longer rope that fishermen would use, but they need
Fine.
the longer rope. Yeah.
I'll buy 2 things of, or I'll get 2 things of rope. We need torches or a lantern.
Yeah.
Bullseye lantern would be preferable.
You can get 2-pound torches for as well. These are consumables. They're just
Yeah.
what do you call it? The sapwood of pine trees, that sort of stuff.
Okay, I got those.
Anything else?
What else? Does anybody else have any ideas?
So I have a backpack, rations, bedroll, torch.
We
maybe
need a
some
fire
sort of-
starter.
Does anyone
Oh,
have a
fire
fire
kit?
starter?
A fire kit.
Yep.
Yep.
You can take one from your house. A fire kit weighs, it's called a tinderbox, weighs a pound.
Thank you.
Have we got like rope and bandages?
Yeah, we have rope. You shouldn't need bandages. I'll just bring some extra cloth with me, Neil. Can that just be like free?
Extra cloth.
Yeah, I just want like cloth in case I need to make a bandage.
Sure. Why don't you just take half a pound of cloth or something?
Sure.
Because it takes up volume.
We've
Yeah.
got a shovel, do we?
Yep.
Crowbar?
Can I get a crowbar, Neil?
Let's
He's a
see.
blacksmith, come on.
I got a pickaxe, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a crowbar somewhere in town that you can beg and borrow for, and they'll loan it to you for a few days, for a while. It weighs 5 pounds.
All right. I'm still at light encumbrance with all of this shit currently. What else do we got?
18 strength.
Yeah.
God, man.
Oh, we've got so
What
much-
else would you need to go and adventure?
Yeah.
We have our
These are all the
torches to
supplies that
see.
doesn't take you time to get these because
Yeah.
Zephyr prepared all this stuff yesterday.
We have our late mail. We have... What would we need out there?
Are we bringing a mount with us? Do we need like grappling hooks, hammers?
There's definitely no grappling
Chalk.
hook on the island.
Yeah, I'll have to make one.
Chalk's not a bad idea.
Chalk's a good idea.
I'll bring
because we
chalk
can
so we
mark
can mark
trees.
Yeah.
Yep, take that.
Yep. You can just tell me how many pounds of chalk you want because it's,
I'll bring a pound of chalk.
That should last
Perfect.
you like
That's
the
a lot of
campaign.
chalk.
that's a lot of chalk.
That's so much chalk.
Okay, you know what? I'll bring a half pound of chalk.
I'm gonna bring a sack of
That's
flour, Neil.
Yeah.
Classic.
That how much does that weigh? 5 pounds? 3 pounds? Depends on how much flour.
A pound
I
of
want,
flour.
right?
You bring a pound of flour. Yeah.
Okay, pound of flour.
Here's something that might be worth bringing. Do we have handcuffs, manacles, or anything like that we could bring?
No, you would tie hands with ropes
got
rather
rope,
than.
haven't we?
rope.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got rope.
Okay. Perfect.
Can I get like a horn or like a trumpet in case I needed to call for? I mean, how far would that sound really go? Would it go
pretty
miles?
Decently. Unlikely. You would
Okay.
need very specific geometry for it to go miles.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
And I don't know if there's any horns on the island.
Oh, is there a? I doubt we have this, but is there an eyeglass?
No.
I didn't think so. Okay, I mean, that's all I can think of.
Perfect. No, perfect. Okay. If it's on your character sheet, you have it. If it's not on your character sheet, you don't.
I'm just
Had an
letting you guys know
opportunity to
that
write it.
just carrying my weapon and wearing the breastplate, I'm like almost encumbered, so I'm not carrying anything. So you're carrying all my shit,
Yeah.
Cedric. Yeah.
I got
oh,
all
so
my
you need
writing
me to
shit on me.
carry-
I'm not carrying
You're
shit
carrying all
either.
my shit. I've got my weapons and I've got my
can-
breastplate, and that's it.
So you
Right, now
need me to
Riven
carry
carries
your
rations.
bedroll
Yeah. If we've got
Riven,
bedrolls
we-
each.
and your
We
rations. Sorry.
Oh, remind me, Neil. Sorry. Did we say that I'm not wearing the breastplate?
Well, we've talked briefly about your ability to channel your magic for you and Elijah needs a lot of freedom of movement. And when you strap on your breastplate in order to have it like be tight enough against you that it's going to work well, it doesn't allow. it
Okay,
doesn't
sorry.
give you the
I,
freedom of moving
I
your
forgot that
chest.
discussion, so I
yeah.
don't take my breastplate.
Cool.
In fact, I'm just going to delete it off my character sheets. Neil, we've got spare breastplates if somebody wants to put it, but I'm not putting it on my character sheets anymore.
Okay.
The new kid can be trained with it.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
I can carry his rations and bedroll because
No, I can carry my own rations now.
Okay, take your bedroll, keep your rations. Your bedroll is going to be 5 pounds. Elijah, put your bedroll in your sheet if you'd like it. Otherwise, I can carry it. Okay. I just want to go, because we should only have to do this once if we do it properly. Just want to go through all of our stuff and make sure we're not forgetting anything. I have rations for 2 people.
That's me, is it?
That's Potato's character.
Okay, how much do rations for one person weigh?
It's going to
2
be
pounds.
8 pounds.
6.
For 4 days, it'll be 8 pounds.
2 pounds per day.
Yeah, yeah.
2
2 pounds per day.
Thanks.
I'm only bringing
I
3
have
days of rations.
I have a shovel. I have rope. I have a pickaxe. I have a bedroll, 1 for myself. I have 5 torches, a tinderbox. I have half a pound of cloth. I have a crowbar and a flour sack, and a fire making kit. I think I called it out. Yeah, tinderbox.
Would we have been able
Riven,
to
you're
get
also going to need
candles
to
in the town?
add a backpack to your.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I've got a backpack. I think I've got like
So Satchel?
Little over-the-shoulder satchel. Yeah, that's
I
good for
got a spare
gathering
backpack
herbs
in my
and stuff
room
like
if you
that.
need one.
What were you saying, Potato? Do we need what?
Does this town have candles? Like either proper wax candles
yeah.
or the old medieval, like super thin ones?
Yeah, let's take some candles. I think that's a good idea.
Excellent.
I will take how many candles to a pound?
Two?
I mean, candle height, candle size changes. You tell me how many pounds of candles you want. That'll
I'll
change
bring
like the.
a
You could just take
pound
a
of
short
candles.
candle or a tall candle or a thick one or a thin one. Describe the candle that you want. Because you can get those like fatty pillar ones that are cool, where you can get the really
I bring a
skinny
bundle
ones.
of those super thin medieval candles that people used to read.
Yeah.
Like they just hold a flame, basically. You know the ones I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know the ones
Okay,
you're talking
I
about. You
think-
drive little
I
nails
think a
into them
bundle of
as rudimentary timers, so as the candle's down, the nails fall onto the plate below to make a noise.
Oh, that's cool. Can we
I
get
like
like
a
I'm
pound of those.
imagining
Okay.
with string setting up something around a camp with like little something that would act like a bell. You know, if something were to break into the camp. I don't know if it would be a bell. I mean, like in modern day, you might use some like tin cans, but
You could find twine,
Yeah.
100%.
yeah, it's
You can
fine. Yeah,
find
but we need
twine.
something that's gonna, you know, make the noise.
But similar to rope, your twine is going to be sort of limited in length. These days, you buy like tens of thousands of feet of twine if you need. But making twine or rope requires a specific rope house style building, and so the length of twine is limited to like 50 feet,
Alright,
which you
okay.
can totally buy, not a problem. But it's just like you won't be able to wrap one string around the camp.
Yeah.
You'd need
You'd have to go from like
bunch
tree
of
to
twine.
tree to tree.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
theory,
yeah.
you could tie the twine together yourself and then make
100
a long piece of twine.
Yes, you can do these things, not a problem. If you would like some twine,
I'll do it. I'll do it in downtime before the next adventure. Okay.
Quill, parchment, ink. Can I get all this?
are you literate?
Big time.
You gonna be writing
Okay.
some? You gonna be writing some letters out there, like? What
you
letters
like
are you
it?
I'm
writing
a
to write?
poetry. I'm a poetry man.
Oh, okay.
I'm a
You're
poet.
I'm a poetry.
I'm
Listen,
a poet.
I'm a wordsmith. I'm a poetry.
All right, you can get a writing kit, is what
Perfect.
we're calling it these days.
Yeah. Does that come with
How
like
much
a-
do they weigh?
A writing kit weighs 3 pounds. It's a wooden box that has a quill, a little thing of ink, some ponce, a stone. It doesn't have the paper or papyrus or whatever, because paper and papyrus and vellum are all very expensive and hard to make. And usually you import it. So if you want a writing kit with you, you can totally do it. It also has like a surface for you to write on. But like no one's going to loan you this. You're going to have to buy these things because this shit is expensive.
I don't know how much money I have because it doesn't make sense because I'm a son of a blacksmith. and yet
Right.
I
Your
have two
family has
silver-
the money
yeah.
is essentially you're the kid.
So my mom would
your
have probably
parents-
given me one, right? Because I know how to write. I'm a poet.
no, you've got like your family's writing kit that they use at
Oh.
home. So you would just
I'm
be
gonna take
taking it
that.
out of the house.
Yeah, I'm taking that. I'm taking it.
Cool. You
Mom
can
can
get
bitch
some
at me.
papyrus. Just so you know, each piece of papyrus is 3 silver.
All right.
So you can do it, but like, you're burning through your family resources, and your
I'll
family's
take
not great with
5
money.
peaches of parchment with me.
They're making a fortune in the papyrus mines, aren't they?
Yeah.
Wait. Parchment is different than papyrus. So did you mean that?
What's the difference between parchment and papyrus? Because originally I was talking about parchment.
Right. You've got paper, papyrus, and parchment. Parchment is also sometimes called vellum. They're slightly different. We're using them interchangeably here. And those are just the different qualities. Paper is sturdy. It writes really well. It'll hold up well over time. It looks nicer. It writes nicer. Paper's awesome. Papyrus is the cheapest. It works. You can roll it up, but like the ink runs a little bit more. It's not, it won't hold up as long. Parchment is like, or in this case vellum, is like pulled and dried animal skin. It will hold up fucking forever. It's really nice, but it's sort of like slow to make, and it can be a little stiff at times.
I'll take 1 piece of parchment. How much is that?
Okay, 6 silver.
Okay, and I'll take 3 pieces of papyrus because I'll get a lot of work out of them.
Yeah, so that's 9
Yeah.
and 6 is 15
The
silver.
Papyrus will just be for my everyday writings. The parchment will be like, all right, I got a wicked one here. I'm gonna put it over here and then I'll sell it.
Well, it's probably more
Alright,
like you do kind of your tester poems on the papyrus, but then when you
Yeah.
want to when it's finished, you write it into the
Well,
parchment.
Boom.
You write in wax. If you're practicing, you'd use wax or sand to get your ideas down, and then you would finalize
Sand.
it. Yeah,
Okay,
you'd get like a
that's
little
fine.
box and rake it with sand, and you wouldn't travel with this, but you'd leave it
Yeah.
in one spot.
What,
Papyrus is
write
if I'm
into
gonna
the
sell
sand?
it.
Yeah, you use
Parchment,
little
it's gonna be
stylus
the
to write
big
in
shit.
sand.
Perfect.
That's crazy.
All right, I'm
Yeah.
happy with that.
Just so we understand, the 4 pages that you took are $150 worth of writing supplies, not
My
including
parents
the
will figure
ink
it
and
out.
shit. Okay,
So,
it's expensive
I-
stuff.
I'm gonna sell my poetry. I'm gonna be a wizard.
My writing supplies will be a lump of clay that I scratch notes into because I'm economic.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
I'm a
you
rich
go.
boy.
but Mom, I'm going to be a famous writer.
My parents are bad with money, and this is their consequences.
Hear that?
They've probably
Great.
had this shit there waiting for me.
We're all supplied up. We're all geared up. We're heading out. We're gonna go on a little journey to this the spot where those flowers were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I want you to understand this satchel that I've got here. This is like a herb gathering satchel. So it's got a little compartment when you open it. It's got 2 separate compartments. One that is for like general things, and then another one which is kind of like padded. That's like, it doesn't get squashed when the thing closes. It kind of holds itself open and is padded a bit for keeping like flower samples in there.
Great.
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
imagine it goes
So-
over your shoulder and it like opens up in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, perfect.
Well, I'm thinking
Love
it's
it.
more like a you unbuckle it, like it flaps open.
Yeah. Oh, I see. The top comes over and down.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. Okay, so I will lead our party to the river. It takes us it would usually take me about 2 hours, but I know it really well, so maybe it takes us 2.5 hours with everyone. But we eventually get to a river, and we walk basically alongside the river. And as we're going along the river, you'll see these kind of large red cardinal flowers that grow on the banks of the river. And I point out, so these are the flowers, but if you look, they only grow on the side of the river here. And we can follow that for about half an hour, this river. And we see from time to time these sporadic red cardinal flowers. But at no point do we see them anywhere else, I assume, Neil. At this point, it's still limited to this one spot. But
This is
eventually
the
we come
creek.
round the corner, and we get to the area that I'm talking about. Oh, it's up here, okay. And up further along the banks of the river on one side of this creek, like, 20, 30 feet up the hill, there's a patch of these cardinal flowers growing. And I think I went back a second time and there was a few more of them now. So is there even more now? And I'm wondering if they are in a circular patch or if they're like along the line, maybe, or...
Right. On this little hillside away from the deep water that they love so much, you find a little patch, maybe 3 feet by 3 feet with 15 or so flowers. And there's stalks in here, blooming, just vibing in the sunlight, well, in the fog.
So I actually took one of these. I did a bit of an experiment, and I took one from the riverbank down there, and I took one from up here, and I planted the one from the riverbank up here to see if it would still survive, and it did. And then I took one from up here and one from the riverbank back home and planted them at home in dry soil, and they both withered. So I'm thinking it's not the plants that are special, it's the ground that's special. Like maybe there's water down there. Maybe we could dig it up and see if maybe the water's getting into the soil, although that would run the risk of destroying the plants. I don't know. I don't know if it's useful. It's certainly strange. I've never seen anything like this before. I've walked this river my entire life, and I've never seen these cardinal flowers anywhere but the banks of the river. And yet here, this one little patch here seems...
I mean, which way did Malchus
is
and
there-
Martha fuck off?
They... We got it so long ago, I can't remember. It's like only 2 sessions ago in game,
If they went
but
this
it's
way,
been
I-
like months.
If they went this way, I would bring it up. If they didn't, then I wouldn't bring it up at all. But if they did go kind of this direction, I would say, well, maybe this is like a path Martha walked.
No, but it was here before they got here.
Oh.
Yeah. It was like a couple of weeks before I first noticed it.
Could we have like a little sketch of how it looks? The visual aid would help my brain. Like
Of the flowers and everything?
yeah, like what is
Or-
the shape
yeah.
of the patch of flowers? Do they have a particular shape? Like I spent some time walking around, looking at it from different angles. Does it like have an over? Does it look like a circle? Does it look like something? Is there?
Right. So I'm
Just
going to draw
investigating it.
you this blue, which is hard to see. So I'm going to change it to purple. This purple line is the creek that you're following,
Okay.
or the river, or whatever you want to call it. And then Riven is telling you that these things only grow in the water, and then like in water, they come out of their roots need to be completely saturated. But then up on this hill, there's like this little patch that's like 3 feet by 3 feet or so. It's almost square, but not quite. Up on the hill, away from the water where it's growing. It's just like a little patchy patch.
Okay, perfect.
just-
So here's my suggestion to the party, and I want to hear what their thoughts are. Let's say we have this patch, okay? What I want to do is I want to excavate a chunk that looks like this, and then I want to investigate the difference between the soil here and here, so that we can see, like, is there a difference here versus this soil that's in the patch versus the soil that's not? And then I want to hear the
Great.
party's feedback on that.
Well, you brought a shovel just for this purpose. Couple of quick digs in here, and you find the soil in this spot on this little rocky ledge is not that deep. It goes maybe 8 inches into the ground before it starts hitting like lots of little rocks and broken areas, which is not great fertility for something like this at all. And looking between, like, you know, a flower is definitely here and definitely not here. Who's got some sort of gardening skill?
Me.
Any-
I literally have artistic ability gardening.
Excellent.
Ooh.
He was a part of the
Roll
gardening
it.
club with my dad.
That's right. Oh, no.
Classic.
A
19.
3.
A third.
Three.
Not a great roll. You're looking at these two soil types, and you can immediately see that these are both terrible, terrible places for this flower to grow. The rockiness is not great. The lack of water is not great. It might like finer rocks, but not these big, bulging, sort of shaly rocks going on here.
Yeah, nothing about this makes sense. I mean, this plant should only really grow in water, and if it was going to grow on land, it would be in very, very wet soil that's, you know, a lot deeper than this and not so sharp.
I'm
and
sorry,
rocky.
Riven, but is there a reason we care about this when people are missing?
I shrug and just say,
I say, I took
I
the
brought it
sentence
up
and
to
say,
Zephyr, and Zephyr was interested. I'm saying that this is unusual,
I think
if not
everything.
impossible.
everything unusual on this island deserves to be investigated. I understand that people are missing, but
I hear you.
if we had dug here and it led to an entrance to the fortress, it would have been an amazing discovery. I let out a sigh, and I want to stand in the center of the flower patch. I've kind of marked like a little orange dot, kind of roughly where I want to stand,
Yeah.
and I want to just look out down the river. I'm standing in the center of the thing, and I'm looking. Does anything look interesting when I stand here? I'm just
Good idea.
looking.
How do we judge? I'm not trying to be annoying here, but how do you judge interest in this concept? Like, what? You obviously you don't mean like, are there any pretty trees around me, right? What?
No. What I mean is, like, let's say I'm looking up at the mountain, okay? Does it form, like, oh, these two mountains, like, these two ridges, actually turns out that they line up perfectly, and then there's, like, a hole in between them? It looks like they're, you know, forming, like, an arch when I stand right here in this spot. Does it look like,
Zelda's
if
such
I
a
was
sick
stood
game.
20 feet that way, if I stood 20 feet that way, it wouldn't look that way. If I stood 20 feet that way, it wouldn't look that way.
Yeah. Why don't you? Is this a wisdom or an intelligence check?
It's a charisma check if I'm convincing you to let me roll.
I think this is an intelligence check.
All right.
All right, I got 14 int, okay? You're about to get the most average
Let's go.
int roll ever.
It's a modified 18.
You guys cannot roll.
We cannot roll.
Yeah. So you look around. You know, you are at one end of the mountain range. So, like, if you look down the mountain range, you are looking down the mountain range. I don't know if that's
like-
important. And if you
I
look
looked
the
down the
other
mountain
way,
range.
it looks out to sea.
Looking down the mountain range is interesting. Have we done the whole mountain range yet?
I tell Cedric, come here and stand here. Tell me what you see. I'm like, and I'm looking down the mountain range, and I'm like, what? Can you see that? Do you see what I see?
Do I see it, Neil?
I mean, Cedric, it's the mountain range.
I mean, that's the
It's
mountains right there. I
a
see it.
line of mountains.
Maybe the mountains are causing water to come down to here.
No, it's the shape.
Oh, the
Riven,
shape.
Riven, stand in the
Yeah.
flowers and look down the mountain range. Do you see it?
Of course. I stand and I look, Neil. Do you want to?
Yeah.
Do you want to check?
Yeah, go for it.
What check was it?
And
Int.
It's an intelligence check. You know, yeah,
Classic.
you're here, and it's
It's beautiful. maybe you're onto something here, Zephyr. Maybe this is like a.
I also check.
Gotta be.
I just want to get in on this.
Elijah, you look. Tell me what you see.
20.
Yeah.
coming.
So.
He's done it.
Neil, what do you?
you know the crests of the mountain do line up when you're at the end of the it's a line of mountains, and so when you're on one end or the other, they do roughly line up.
So, guys, look at this. If we look at the crests of the mountains, if we look at them, I take out my something straight. I guess like a quill wouldn't be straight. I just hold my hand like this. If you actually look at it really closely, I don't know if you guys can see it. They actually like line up.
Okay, what does this mean?
I don't know. I thought you
don't
guys
know.
knew what that meant.
Maybe it doesn't mean anything.
Maybe it doesn't mean anything. I do have
Nothing means
one last.
nothing.
I do have one last idea, although I don't want to waste everyone's time. But perhaps we could gather a great deal of the red cardinal plants from the river and plant them around this spot, expanding the size of it, and then come back. And that way we can work out the definitive border of how large this magical growing area is, because it might be larger than 3x3, or it might be exactly 3x3. But if we plant flowers around it, we can sort of more see like where they die and where they live, and maybe it forms a better shape.
You're right.
Maybe you
Let's-
should
let's
get the
do that
gardening
quickly.
club to do
Let's-
that.
It won't
Let's
take us. It'll only take us 45 minutes. I'll go and gather them. Let's.
I got a
guys
shovel.
Start digging up the soil around the patch.
Yeah,
And then, yeah,
I'll
I think
shovel it up.
We can get that done.
I instruct Cedric to like dig like a grid pattern of holes around it, semi-randomly, so that there's like just a.
My dad
smattering
was a
of
gardener.
flowers.
This is kind of in my blood, guys.
Yeah. Okay. You know what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think
Oh, you know what
that's
you're
what we.
doing. You got it.
I assume Neil's taking notes, but that's what we do.
Yeah,
Neil.
you're making. Was it a grid or a ring or
I
how
just
long?
want
are you-
It's just
to. I
like
want to
some
extend the
circles
area.
of flower holes.
Yeah.
To what extent? Are we doing like an extra foot in every
Uh,
direction? Or are you doing like a line that's 30 feet out, just like a big circle?
It's 3x3. I'd like it to make it 5x5. I think that would be nice.
Okay.
2 feet every direction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Average
And
like
wh-
a couple flowers per
Okay.
square foot or whatever.
Wouldn't it just be smarter just to do like a line in each direction to see where the ending point is?
Well, it might form a shape of some sort.
Yeah, it might
true,
be a
yeah.
shape exactly. Because like, if
But at
we
least
just
we
do
would find the
lines-
bounds if we did a line, right?
We
And
would,
then we
but
come
I-
back and
I think we-
actually.
But then we'd have
Unless
to come
Neil's
back.
going to say this is going to
Yeah.
take 10 hours, I feel like we can let's just make a 5x5.
How long is it
for
going to
now.
take, Neil?
Well, if you're just trying to make the ring a little bit bigger, you can go down, grab a whole, depopulate the flowers by the river, bring them up and transplant them here.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, time is equivalent to the scale of the project.
Yeah, so
You want
5x5
small scale?
it takes an
Not a
hour.
problem.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, done.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Well,
we do it.
All right. Well,
Before we
I-
go,
Yeah.
is there anything to be said for digging up this whole thing and seeing how, like, if anything is deep beneath?
why don't we let the flowers have time to thrive or die, and then save or die, and then by the time when we come back, if we can't discern any new information, maybe then we can dig it up.
Okay, you're right. Well, so how long has passed? Like 3.5 hours?
Yeah, 2
Since we
hours to
left.
get here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's late. It's like mid-afternoon. You could walk home and get there before dark.
I'm hesitant to leave the village alone for too long. Is there anything
How's
else we
that?
should investigate nearby?
I shrug and say, not that I know of. And as Zeph is thinking, I go over to Cedric and I put a hand on his shoulder and I say, Cedric, I'm sorry if you think I was wasting our time.
I'm down for whatever. Yeah. I honestly, Cedric thinks this is a time waste. But you know what? We're moving some flowers. It's making Riven happy. Fuck
Not
it.
everyone has all the answers, you know? It's
You know,
I know.
Cedric, that's a great question. How much time should a DM allot for players to spend on fruitless tasks?
Are you
I'm
asking
not saying
Cedric
this
or
is
Lucas?
fruitless.
No, I would say it depends. You know, if it's like, if players are really fucking stuck on it in character or in campaign and in character,
Yeah.
and it just like for like, I don't know, 30 minutes plus, I'd maybe say, all right, come on, you know, you did the thing, skip it. But
Right.
for now, it's been like 5-10 minutes. Like,
Sure. Well, because I don't want to force endings on things that don't work, and I don't want to give you answers like, hey, this thing you're doing that you are going to spend 10 days on in-game, like, it's not going to work. I'm not saying this isn't one of those, but it's easy for players sometimes to get lost on a thing that maybe isn't going somewhere. And I
Absolutely.
like to let players feel out their oats, but I also want to be time-wise. So we've planted some flowers. We don't have any results right now. Let's come back and check it another time.
Yep.
sweet.
Good.
Yep.
All right.
We've
And this is the
sown
next
our
day.
wildflowers.
So we go back that night then. And we're going to go
Yeah.
out again. We can go. Let's go out first light tomorrow. That way we've got more time.
Okay. And what are you
Yep.
doing tomorrow? The
Yeah, we're
16th
going
of
out.
November.
We discussed this at the evening in the tavern, I suppose.
Yeah.
Get
Do we
back
get
to the
accosted by any
tavern.
goblinos on the way home?
Not a goblino to be found.
Perfect.
I've got a route we could suggest. I could suggest. Why don't we go something like go up through the mountains here, go down, and then camp by the. Did you guys see that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking about
Go-
Priscilla's
go-
Pond?
Yeah, but like go through the overlook, go through the mountain, the mesa paths, and that's where we saw the goblins last time. Let's walk across
Well, we
the bridge.
also-
Oh, sorry.
We also saw a campfire over by the Moon Lake, and we were over here yesterday, right? So my suggestion would be to go to this side of the town.
Isn't that where we buried my mother?
Yeah,
Yeah, your
we
mom's
buried your mom
buried
near
at the Red
Moon Lake.
Circle.
Oh, right. So you're saying like, let's
Oh,
go
you're
back
right,
there
sorry.
because maybe someone was there. No, I think that makes
Awesome.
that potentially makes
No,
sense.
I think that makes sense too. I only want to check out the mountain range. I'm going to be honest. That's where
Yeah.
the fortress is. We know where the door is, at least. I think something on the mountain range is going to give us a clue.
Okay. Yeah, I think
Personally.
that's wise. Neil's drew these paths on the mountain as well, which are intriguing.
Into something, yeah. Like there's no,
Yeah,
there's no paths down here.
True.
This
No
is just
path,
the trail.
no marker,
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah, just the trail.
Yeah. I like trails. I do a lot of hiking. I used to do a lot of hiking back in the day.
Well,
All right.
yeah. Okay. Well, we can do that. Let's if we do something like this, go and get the Moon Lake, and then we can walk back and round like that.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, it's
That's the plan I'm suggesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Good,
I'm
good
on board
plan,
with that.
Zephyr.
all right. It's been 2 hours. Let's take a break.
Okay.
Back in 10.
Break's happening. Boom, break.
All right. So we're leaving Aknara in the morning. We're going to go on this path. We're going to come round, and you want to end up at Priscilla Pond, right? But before you get there,
No. At Moon Lake, Neil.
Moon Lake, sorry, you wanted to go up and over. Got it.
Yeah.
Before morning comes, though, Zephyr, you're woken up in the middle of the night. And I'm pausing because
Who is
I
it?
don't have the track that I...
Which god is it this time?
Who is it? Hello. I've
Hold
fucking
on.
aged 1,000 years. I can't wait
Excellent.
to play an
All right.
old man again.
Zephyr, you're woken up in the middle of the night by a panicked rapping upon your door. You and your mom both arrive at the door at the same time in the dark of night to someone saying, "Overseer! Overseer!"
What is it? Who is it? I open the door.
It's Wendy, and there's Wendy, one of the local townsfolk. She lives down by the beach. She's one of the fishermen. She and I can't remember the other woman who I named earlier live near each other. And Wendy says, "Overseer, They were goblins. The old man's boat, the spy's boat who we had to put to death. We were storing his boat in the bushes by my house, and I saw goblins. I saw 4 of them picking up the boat, and they put it in the water. I was trapped inside. I didn't want them to hear me. I waited for them to be gone before I came in and got you, but I saw them.
What? This is absurd. Quickly, get the other wardens. Tell them to meet me at the beach. I run inside and I grab my sword, and I run to the beach without putting on my armor.
You'll get there before any of the other wardens do. Alone.
Yeah, I'm
arriving at
in.
the beach in the middle of the night with a little bit of rain and a whole lot of fog. You arrive at the coastline. And sure enough, let's take a look at the town. Let's take a look at this town map here, because there's an important part about this town map, is that there's a tiny little strip of beach, and then it's rocky everywhere else. This is the only place to put in and put out, phrasing, of the water. And it's not a huge section of beach. And you can get to it and see, sure enough, as you quickly scour the area, there's a whole set of tracks along with a deep line that runs through the sand that looks very much like someone has just pushed a boat out into the water. And there's all sorts of markings up and down the beach, but in the area where the water hits the sand, and that area that gets freshly washed away and reflattened as the waves come in and out, you can see there's a nice fresh groove with footprints on either side.
I follow the footsteps back and I inspect them.
You can follow them
Follow
up
them the way
until
they
they
came.
hit the grass, and then they disappear at the grass. Just because no one has tracking, and following footsteps is actually surprisingly hard unless
Really
you're
hard.
in snow or sand.
I inspect the footsteps. I put my hand in one of them and I try to count. Can I tell it was like a hand, like a bunch of, like the footsteps are all overlapping each other and stompy, and they're not clean and ordered, right?
Well, there's 2 sets with the groove in between, so there's at least 1 goblin on each side. Counting it from there, give me the greatest intelligence check you've ever
Holy,
made.
here we go.
You're gonna waste a nat 20 on this, Neil. I swear to God.
Oh my god.
Nat
So
19.
close. Yeah, it definitely looks like about 4, like 2 on each side. They're not like smoothly marching to give you like a nice clean imprint. It looks like there's some struggling where you're like trying to haul a heavy thing, and so you like keep slipping in the sand and having to catch yourself. So it's a little bit scattered, but there's a couple of places where it looks pretty clear that like it's probably 4, 2 on each side of the boat. There's not so much chaos that it could be more than that, but there's just enough that it's not 1 on each side of the boat. And the
Which
trail,
edge
since
of
we're
the
looking
beach?
at the map, it was coming
Was it towards the
right
center?
down here. Yeah, because the house where the boat had been buried, it was hidden, was this house right here. See, there's these
I can't
bushes
see
just
your
on.
pings. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. This house right here.
Okay, right.
Yeah. There's some bushes right by the side of the house, and it was in between those bushes and the side of the house that the boat was left.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll wait until wardens come.
Okay. Bit
How
by
far
bit.
out into the sea can I see? Like, can I see the temple?
No, not in the night and in the fog. Your vision's
Right.
super limited. It is only a few days. It's the day after the full moon, so there is some decent ambient light, but the fog really, brings that in.
I wait for the other wardens to come.
Does anybody come grab us, Neil?
Yes. I think I
Yeah,
called her
I'll come.
Wendy. She'll show up. All right, she'll get you all.
Hotness check?
Oh, Riven would have been in my house, actually. I think he's staying with me.
That's true there.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot
So I
about
guess
that.
I would have been with you, but unless I assume you would
Hotness
have woke
10.
me up.
Nice.
Yes, I would have woke you up.
Okay. It's the 2 of you here then.
Okay, we're both here. Yeah. So I look around. We don't see these goblins anywhere. I was kind of like not super paying attention because I wasn't there. But
Right.
we follow the tracks up in this direction.
Yeah. Down,
Okay.
they're here.
Oh,
They're
okay.
right in this little strip of land.
Oh, and it looks like they've gone out to the sea with the boat.
Yeah, it looks like they dragged the boat out into the water.
That is
Where are they going, I wonder?
strange.
Really weird, yeah.
And they went out to boat in the water, is what we think.
Should we? I turn to Riv and I say, should we follow them? Should we follow the coastline? Perhaps they're sailing around. Where could they possibly be going?
I mean, I'm no sailor, but unless these goblins are, surely they'll crash in this weather with all the rocks jutting out in the bay. A seasoned sailor who knows these waters well would still have a risky time sailing in conditions like this. But that's correct, right, Neil?
Yeah.
Like, if I tried to take a boat out, we'd probably end up sinking.
Probably less sinking and just getting lost in the fog. You might run afoul of something, but with rowboats, you're usually going at a slow enough speed that you're not going, and with so little mass that a rock isn't usually going to be catastrophic. It could be, but it's not always likely.
What does this mean? Like they're
Well, maybe
stealing property now?
Here's the thing, right? You remember those structures that they built up on the hills?
Yep.
If we're right and these goblins have just come into existence recently with something that's happened, they've obviously, been created with the knowledge to build those things. Maybe they've been created with the knowledge of something that they need to find, or maybe there's something out there that they're looking for. I can't imagine that 4 goblins are leaving this island in search of raiding targets or something similar, as surely they'd have an easier time raiding the village here than setting out to sail.
No, if they were... I think you're right. If they were trying to attack the town, like they're driven by some purpose. Like, grab a boat. We should check the other boats.
Wait, what if goblins? They work for the Varasi Empire, right? What if they're going to tell the army?
I mean, not
Someone's
every
here.
goblin works for the Varasi Empire, right?
Don't they?
We'll have to.
Nice,
Shrug, yeah.
We'll have to deal with the we'll have to deal with the consequences of that. But right now, we're as steady as she goes, and we're trying to buy as much time as we can to hide.
I mean, we
out
can't
here.
set out to sail and go find them, right?
I don't think we could find them in this fog.
So the trail looks like it goes out to water.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is that they're gonna stay near the land. There's no way they're gonna just set out to sail. I'm assuming they took this boat and are probably heading back to wherever they're stationed. And if we just follow the coast, that's probably where they're gonna be.
Wait, you think that they're trying to save time rather than walking?
Probably that and to have a boat.
I guess. Yeah, maybe they're just stealing the boat. Just for the sake of having a boat. Or maybe they want to use it for building material. But it'd be easier to sail it back to their hideout and then break it down into wood than it would be to break it down here and then try and carry all the wood back.
Yeah.
So maybe you're right.
I think it would be a fool's errand to follow them, but I do want to check and see if anything else has gone missing.
Yeah.
I want to
Well-
break into parties of 2 to 3 and knock on doors around this area near the beach.
This beach section's not very long, and as you go to check it out, you see, how do we say this? Each rowboat will have an appropriate number of oars for it. You get like little metal rivets that you would stick the oars through, and that way you've got something to brace against. You don't normally, unless you're kayaking or canoeing, you don't really like just have an oar that's free. They go through these, I think they're called oar holes. I can't remember the names. And so you can see a boat, and it'll usually have the number of oars equal to the little holes, maybe plus an extra. But as you go, the very first boat you come across is missing all of its oars. And it's a small boat, 2 oar holes, room for maybe 2 people, but this one has 0 oars on it.
This does support the building material theory. They can only take 1 boat because they need 4 people to row, but they could grab a few extra oars.
Yeah.
All the oars missing?
Yeah, it's a small boat. It would normally have 2, maybe 3, if you're really paranoid that you might lose one and you want a backup. Usually you don't carry a backup.
Ooh.
Is there
Let me
any
rephrase my
loose...
question.
Oh, sorry.
Have we found any other boats with their oars missing?
Well, I'm just telling, this is the first one. You can keep going down the beach to keep
okay.
looking. Yeah.
Is there any other loose bits of wood lying around the beach that would disprove the building material theory?
So we're back.
Okay. So
You're
what I'm
looking-
asking...
Yeah, go ahead.
I have this theory that they're trying to collect building material. Okay, so they've took 1 boat, because that's all they can row, and they've taken the oars off the other boats.
No,
What
off
would
of
disprove
one
this?
other boat. Yeah.
that we've seen so far.
Right.
What would disprove this if there's other easily accessible bits of wood lying around that haven't been taken?
Right. Well, Zephyr also wanted to check to see if other boats had their oars stolen as you go down the beach, because this is a safe part of the world. There's no crime. There's no stealing of boats. You can just leave your boat pulled up on the beach and it's fine. The worst that could happen is maybe if there's high tide, it could get washed out to sea. So you just pull it up high on the beach. And you can see there's a whole series of boats lined up on here, and they're all small fishing boats. 1, 2, maybe 3 people you could hold in them. But the others have all their oars. It's only the one that was closest to where this largest boat was put out to sea.
Can we go the other way then?
The other way just hits rocks pretty much right away.
Okay, so the other way there's
Maybe
no boats or anything. All right,
Yeah.
got it.
Okay, so it looks like maybe they just wanted to make sure they had 4 oars, because I think that guy rowed this over here on his own, right?
Yeah.
Well, then they
Yeah.
probably went this way as well. So
Why
I
do you
think we
say
should.
that?
I mean, I don't think these guys are going out to sea, right? So I think they're going to follow the coast and bring this back as some sort of lumber.
How long until sunrise?
You have no idea. It's too foggy to see where the stars are or where the moon is.
Do I feel well rested?
You have no idea what time it is.
Do I feel rested or not? Do I feel like I've been sleeping most of the night or not?
You have no idea what time it is.
I'm
Does he
asking
feel
what time it
tired?
is. I'm asking if I feel tired. Yeah.
No, you've been jolted
How
awake because
tired
of
do you feel,
goblins.
Nick?
You are alert. You are crisp.
Okay, yeah, because his spells don't matter through
Right,
the
you-
night.
No.
Yeah.
No, I've got my spells. That's fine. Okay. Well,
Let's go.
But if it's pitch black, I mean,
We got torches.
Is it safe to go at night?
It's not the lighting, because it's only the day after the full moon. It's the fog that's really blocking your line of sight.
I think we should make sure that nothing else, no one has been hurt, that the goblins snuck through the town, and try to identify where in the town they entered. We know where they exited, so we need to try to find out where they got through the town, right?
Okay, that's fair.
Secure the town, and then when the town is light, we should then go. I don't think it's safe to go out at
Whenever the
night with
fog
this
moves
fog.
up, yeah. Okay.
okay.
Does anyone disagree? And I turn to look at the party.
No, I agree with that.
No, that seems smart.
Well, we know the town has 2 entrances, because there's a mountainside against the back, right? If we zoom out the map a little bit, you can see that there's mountains on the one side. So you can enter the town from the north or the south, which is also the west or the east.
Yep. I'll send a team in each direction to check on houses, check if people edge of the town houses, make sure people are not missing, make sure nothing's been stolen, and to see if it's been raining, maybe there'll be muddy footprints near the edge of the roads or whatever.
Everyone,
Like search parties.
your teams break up and head out. And maybe it's going to take a while because you got to look at different houses, you got to search the area thoroughly. It's going to take hours to spread out and do a proper investigation. And after hours pass and the sun begins to rise, your teams will report back to you in the center of town. And by now, much of the town has been woken up over the rumors of goblins. Some people try to go back to sleep. Some people are poking their heads out windows. On the southern side of town, on the northern side of town, up over in this direction, some of these houses, this little collection of 4 houses up here, they've got little, what do you call them? Chicken runs out here. And the furthest most house reports that they heard their chickens getting into something in the middle of the night. They came out to see what it was, didn't see anything, and the chickens had quieted down. And they're like, well, I'll deal with it in the morning, whatever it is. Turns out, a couple of chickens gone missing. 4 chickens are gone, and the fencing that would keep them in or keep creatures out, the little wooden things, were smashed from the outside. Not pulled apart like an animal, not dug underneath, but broken like someone wanted them chickens.
These goblins are not sending their best.
Okay. Well, that's it. I mean, they've come to raid the town then for food and supplies, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think the immediate thought that comes to my mind is we need to relocate the people that are on the edge of the town here to perhaps any empty houses or houses that are closer, move their animals.
There
move
should
their
be there should be empty houses, right?
Some
People
people
died.
died, but they lived with other people, so there's not surplus housing.
Yeah.
Okay, but the
We have
surplus
a housing
beds.
we have a housing crisis here.
The surplus beds.
Yeah,
But basically,
but like Third
we can't
Amendment
keep these
prevents you
people
from
safe.
quartering people in your houses. You can't just.
We don't have the Third Amendment though.
Oh,
Yeah, we don't have the Third Amendment. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have those amendments.
we can't keep these people safe because posting a guard out here, like the distance from the town, like the most defensible shape is a circle, right? Because you're equidistant. If you're at the center, you're equidistant from every other point. So like the people that live out on this weird little branch, we need to see if we can convince them to move into the town with all their possessions.
How, you know, these forests here, Neil, like these look really dense in this map. But in
Yeah.
theory, the goblins could have come through the forest.
Oh, easy. Yeah.
They wouldn't necessarily have come down this path. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably unlikely for them to walk down a
Yeah.
path. That's the most visible area. And it looks
So
dense in the map because that's what looks nice, but this is a very managed forest where the underbrush is often cut away
Yeah.
and the trees are thin so that things can grow very nicely. It's an easy walk.
So at this area, at this house here, I'm assuming that the goblins have come out of the forest near this house. So I'm going to check both like this side and this side to see if there's, I don't know, broken branches or any signs that something's come through the forest there.
I mean, there's a lot of broken branches everywhere, unfortunately.
Yeah.
People go through this forest every day. You're not going to
okay.
notice a couple of goblins.
A couple of little gobbos.
I drew two of my a couple of suspected paths that I think the goblins may have taken. And I get a couple of people who like to investigate these particular routes that I think like if they hit this house, these are like the most likely. See if we find anything, discarded things. Just spend like half an hour doing it.
Yeah, well, now that the sun is up and the wardens are going about following your orders, this is almost a week to the day since the comet has come. And the wardens who are used to doing, 1 day a week, 1 week a year sort of duty, have been called upon almost every day for this last week. Not a problem. This is what they're here for. But also, this is supposed to be a ceremonial part-time job. They've got other things they're doing. And so they're following your orders. They are happy to do this stuff. But at the same time, they're like, oh my God, another early morning? All right, I got to go out and warden these things. And Samantha, can you, I know I asked you yesterday to watch my kids, but I got to go do warden stuff. Do you think you could watch them again today? Please, please. I just want you to remember that these NPCs have, lives and feelings.
Yeah, we need to create a false flag for them for the town to rally around us to want to make everybody.
When did
Anytime-
Cedric
anytime this
become a
comes up-
fascist? Oh my God.
I'm just making sure,
Last session.
Yeah, last session actually.
Apparently.
That's fine.
Anytime this is mentioned, I will allocate a day off to somebody, but I will also say like it's a day off, but these are different times. This is
I mean, people's chickens are
We're
being
living in a
stolen.
It's a state of
Votes are being
emergency.
taken.
This is
Yeah,
serious business.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is lost
I
a
understand.
chicken.
the only way we survive this is by being together, and you're the only people who can help us.
That chicken didn't just cross the road itself, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And let me tell you, I've been carrying the chickens in this place for a while, and you guys were already pretty low on your egg production. Shit's gonna go downhill
good.
very
Oh,
fast.
no. Well, you take a look at these routes. As I said before, this is highly traversed area, and no one here is like a great tracker. So there's no
nothing
obvious
obvious.
signs. Yeah, nothing ultra apparent.
Okay, that's just due diligence stuff.
Cool.
Like,
Totally.
check it out.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can I ask a separate question, Neil?
Yeah.
See this building here?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a building. It's not.
Is it old?
All the buildings are old.
Is it really old though?
Like, is it older than the rest of the things in town?
Maybe. I'm just saying that the top of that building kind of looks like the symbol that was the keystone above the arch. That's all. That's
No.
all.
Go
So
check it
just
out
throw-
then.
I'm just throwing it out there. Yeah, I think when I get some downtime, I'm just gonna see what's going on there, what it is.
It's a house that was built with a sort of a circular format to it. It's got an exit on the north and the south, and then like big windows on the east and the west. It's an odd building in town. It's been here more or less the same age as everything else. It's just one of those like eccentric things. You don't have building codes, and someone 700 years ago decided to make like a rounded house, or 500 years ago decided to make like a rounded house, and people have been living in it
No,
ever
you
since.
gotta get into that, Nick.
Yeah, but I'll say though that like, if that was Ferris's intention, no one's actually seeing the house from the top of the roof, right? It's like we're only seeing it like this because of the map. So actually, maybe this is a bit of a red herring.
Metagamer.
Yeah, maybe
What about
something's
this house?
buried
Looks like
there.
a steering wheel.
Like,
maybe
maybe
this
we
is
should try
That's
spinning
a
it.
second story up there. Once upon a time, when this was a more busy place, this is a spot where you could go up. I'm sorry. The person who had this house built this extension so that as they go out to the lake, their spouse back home could like get up and watch for them to come back. It became known as the Widow's Walk because once upon a time he went out one day on the lake. There was a bit of a foul weather and he never came back. And his widow was up there walking around, looking out to the lake every day for months, hoping he would come back. Well past the time that everyone knew this guy's fucking dead. Because the lake's, it's a big lake, but if he was supposed to come back the next day or that same day and he didn't come back for a week, like... So it's
That's a really
that's
sad
the
and tragic
Widow's Walk.
story.
We gotta go kill those
I go
gobos.
get a pint.
Yeah, well, I suggest that we're not going to be able to track them. We could go looking for them, which maybe that is what we
Yeah.
should do. But perhaps we should keep a guard in that part of the town at night. Who
Yeah,
can,
is there
alert us if the goblins come
problem
back?
is-
Because if they got away with it the first time, they might use the same route a second
Well,
time.
is there a tracker in town?
There's
The problem is with leaving a guard
one-
out there is that it's so far away from the rest of the town.
What like
Perhaps they could,
percentage of the chickens are
yeah.
gone? I'm sorry, I missed that.
There's like a few.
4 chickens
Four.
out of a roost that had 30.
Okay, so they definitely know if they definitely know there's more to come for. I think like waiting there
Yeah.
is not a terrible idea.
I agree.
It's like, how would they signal? Maybe with smoke from the chimney or something like that?
In the dark?
It'd be too dark. It'd be too dark, wouldn't it? Yeah.
They're magical, no?
I mean, I think it's a good idea to wait there at night because they're goblins, right? They're gonna be hungry. They're just gonna be like, well, we
There's
had
chickens
food there
there.
last night. There's literally chickens there. Let's go grab them, Bob. You know?
That's a great idea.
Goblin
we should lay a
bomb.
trap tonight.
No?
Yeah, lay an ambush for him.
Agreed.
So are we going to still
yeah.
do the mountain plans or
I think we should still do the trek and then.
No,
do
I
that
think
in the
we
evening.
should do the. Well, I would
Well, we
like
haven't
to, but I
slept
think our
very much.
characters would be tired. We haven't slept very much. I don't think we can do the mountain and this.
and
Well, we
stay
only
up
need
all
someone
night?
to keep. We only need
And
someone to
stay
keep
up all
watch,
night?
right? Three of us could sleep. We take turns.
That's true.
Hey,
If the goblins
Riven,
come, we
Half
wake each other up.
I was wondering if you could walk me through the mountain plan one more time because like I was totally like on board with both, but like I'm kind of having trouble putting it back together in my head again. Could you walk me through that one more time?
Well, we originally didn't really have anything to go off of, so we were going to go back to the mountains and see if we could find goblins. But I think now that we've found them here, that it's probably just a better idea just to chill here.
Yeah, I feel like
We
we
could be
should probably
waiting for
go
days, though.
where. I mean, okay, wait. Didn't we do math on this last time for how much like these goblins were eating and stuff like that? Like we kind of
I
understand
don't
what
remember
kind of
them. They had a small
That
camp
sounds
of them.
familiar.
yeah, like we have some loose understanding of how much these goblins eat. Like you said 4 chickens.
That's not going to last for a tribe of goblins very long.
Oh,
How
It's
many
like a day-
goblins
it's like
are
a
in the
night.
tribe, though? Because you guys killed a bunch of them. And their numbers, is
They
it...
turn to dust.
Dwindling.
Or whatever.
That's true.
It did turn to dust.
I mean, I'm
The guy-
down for whatever. Just make a call, yeah.
Just checking that the guy we killed on the beach didn't turn to dust.
No, his body
Not that
was
we killed.
buried.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't
Well,
know.
Riven?
Oh,
Yeah, not Riven.
It's-
Well,
it's
Zephyr,
up
make
to-
a call.
It's up to Zephyr. The burdens of leadership
haven't
weigh
slept.
heavily.
We haven't slept. It would be unwise for us to adventure without sleep. Everyone, help out in the town in whatever way you think is appropriate. I'm going to oversee the construction project. Come get me if you need help. I'm also going to try and see if we can organize maybe moving some of the people or the chickens to somewhere safer in the next day or two.
Well, we should leave the chickens alone because we're going to set an ambush, right?
Yeah, in the next day or two, we'll move them, right? But tonight we'll set an ambush.
We're going to nationalize
we're
the
gonna need to-
chickens.
We're gonna need to form a night watch. We need. We just don't have enough people.
I know, but the people don't want to do this job, right? Like, they got shit going on in their lives, too. I shrug. I don't know what we're going to do.
This is bigger than looking after Jean's children or whatever. Like, this is about survival. Like, we're on the brink of destruction here.
You know, Jean's having a really hard time with all those kids, and actually, I think she needs the help.
I mean,
Maybe-
the Garden
You
Society
don't know,
could use the
Zephyr, you
kids.
don't know
Should
what
be
it's like to
grateful.
a
Maybe
mother.
Jean should be grateful that she can have children. Okay.
You know what? Jean's been in a part of this town for a really long time and has touched the lives of many people here, Zephyr. And if you say you care about the people here as much as you say you do, then you should have a little bit more
I
respect
care
for
about-
that.
I care about all of the people. I don't have a lot of sympathy for somebody taking away the things that keep the town alive for the sake of their wailing crotch
whinging.
goblins.
I understand your perspective, Zephyr. I'm just asking for have a little bit of respect for Jean. It's not easy being a mother, you know.
Zephyr will let us you're right. I'm stressed.
I know. It's okay.
I just feel like we're under siege. And
Yeah, I just don't think we should be turning
I
on
have-
each other, you know. Jean, you know, she makes a good cottage pie. Maybe
She does.
maybe we could get her to make some food for us. I think she'd like that.
I just need more
I'm gonna go.
soldiers. I
So
just
I'm
need
gonna.
more people.
Okay, you go and you worry. I'm gonna go speak to Jean. Neil, does Jean happen to live in the house that I pointed out?
No.
Okay. Well, I will go to that. I'm gonna go to that house and look around. I assume I know the people who live there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go in and say that I've got orders from the overseer to
Is this a lie?
investigate any leads. No, it's not. It's not a lie. I'm investigating any leads, and one of the leads that I have is that this house might be connected to the runes above the gateway. So I'd like to have a look around.
All right. I'm gonna roll a little check over
Bearing
here.
in mind how well liked I am in the village
Yeah.
Loved.
as the inheritor of the Aknaran Horticultural Society and Tea House. I'm a respected figure in this town. Blessed by the gods. Empowered.
Loved by all.
Politics, yeah.
Yeah.
Loved by
You
all.
know what? The people in this
Look
house. You show up. You knock on the door. Someone comes to greet you, and you explain that like you've got orders to search around to see if anything might help out. There might be any clues, and you think there might be clues in this house. And the first question
Yeah.
you get is like, well, what about this house might have clues in it? Like, this is my home. Why do you think my home has clues to all of these things?
First off, I come inside because I've brought a bunch of flowers and I say, it's great to see you, Mary. I brought you some flowers. I don't know if you've got a vase or something I could put them in.
Of course. And she goes over and dumps out the old dry flowers and puts the wooden vase in front of you.
These really look great. Do you mind if I sit down? I pull this chair out and
Please.
sit down at the table.
What brings you here today, Riven?
It's a real long shot, Mary. I have to say, we've been excavating, you know, where the doorway appeared. Mm-hmm. And there's been some sigils, some symbols that have appeared. And the one at the top there, the one at the top of the archway, almost like a keystone, I think it resembles some of the design in this house. And it's just an inkling I've got. I've always admired this building. I've always thought, you know, it's over the road from the mayor's house. It's clearly an important building. It's built in a unique style. It's a real long shot. But maybe there's a link here. I just want to have a little look around, see if maybe there's any secret doors that you wouldn't have noticed, but that I might as a half elf.
Okay, well,
You know?
the walls
Yeah.
are round, so it's pretty easy to find the outer edge. But, you know, maybe there's a secret floor door. As long as you don't rip up the floor, go ahead.
No, of course not. Can I go and check out the basement?
I'll walk with you. And they'll
Yeah, well,
take you to the cellar.
She's suspicious.
Yeah, I just go walk around. I look for secret doors, Neil.
Yeah. You,
Or anything that looks like it might be a control mechanism.
Don't let her lead you, Nick. You
She
need to
knows
lead
where the
her.
secret. She knows where the
Yeah,
secret
she
door is.
knows where
She's-
the fucking door is.
She's not gonna take me.
So there's a little cellar here, like most houses have, to keep your fruits and veggies and meats as fresh as possible, since refrigeration doesn't exist. As a half-elf, you have a chance to notice secret doors. I think it's just by passing within them.
100%.
Oh,
It's
now
not
I know there's
100%.
nothing. If he's bringing that up.
Well,
You know what?
he's using
There is definitely a secret door.
he's using the right language.
Me or you?
You are. You're using the
yeah.
I want to find a secret door language.
I just usually tell him that. And then he Dorsey O'Neill.
The half-elven character has a 1 in 6 chance of spotting a concealed door. If you just pass within 10 feet of it. If you're actively searching to discover hidden doors, it's a 1 in 3.
That's
for
good.
secrets,
That's actually
or a
crazy.
1 in 2 for concealed. A secret door is like built to be, to be secret, and a concealed or hidden door is just a door that has like something blocking it. So you're actively searching. A 1 in 3 for a secret and a 1 in 2 for hidden.
Do you want a D2 and a D3?
No, I roll these, sir.
Okay.
Okay. The cellar looks pretty basic. You walk around, you're not really seeing anything that looks like it. There's an area where there's some shelving with a lot of stuff on it. Lots like sacks and boxes where you might store things. Boxes with like sand and potatoes and sand and carrots to store them for the winter months. And maybe there could be something back here, but you're a perceptive half elf, and you poke your head around these things, and there's definitely no hidden or secret doors or concealed doors in the cellar. And she's right. The outer walls are rounded. There's definitely no secret walls there, and the inside isn't that big.
I make sure that the ceiling of the top floor coincides with the top of the building. As in, like, there's not maybe another floor or an attic.
Correct. You can see the thatch from the ground, so...
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I make my way back to the kitchen. I say, well, I guess it was there was nothing to it, Mary, but thanks for taking the time, and I hope you enjoy the flowers.
Of course. Best of luck, Riven.
All right. Thanks very much. All right, see you later. Bye,
She just
bye,
hit a door
bye.
from you.
Bye.
Bye.
Drats. Yeah, okay, I'll leave. That's it. I go back to doing whatever I do.
All right.
Musing.
A day of rest, it sounds like.
Yeah.
By midday, the rain stops and the fog burns off. And once again, the mountain cliffs are visible from the lake. But there's not much else to do. You oversee the work. Cedric, you've come home and find your mother in a surprisingly good mood. She seems to be humming a little song. She's working on a couple of things. Your dad's out in the smithy pounding away.
Oh, so Dad's here more often now, huh? Now that that lady's dead.
Now that the lady's dead and the garden's
tramp.
gone, yeah, your dad's around more. Your mom's in a pretty good mood, and as you come in, she dusts the flour off her hands and takes a look at you and goes, "You know, Cedric, I've always thought that your duty as a warden was extremely important, and I know that you've also learned your father's skills very well, and that you have to manage these two skills side by side. And since the horticultural society is no longer in existence, your father's been able to pull his weight in the shop a little bit more, and I think you've got plenty of time to do your warden thing." So she comes up real close to you and goes, "You're new at this, Cedric, and this is your opportunity to shine. This is your moment to make something of yourself for our family and for our future. So in these coming days and weeks, don't worry about the shop. Don't worry about what's going on here. Anything you need, we will help you. This is your moment to become the man you were born to be. You understand?"
All right. Yeah, I get that. Nice.
Good.
I can just get out there.
You get out
Finally.
there and you get that stuff done, okay? You make a
I'm
name
just
for
gonna get
yourself.
out there, Mom. All
Good.
right, I'll do that.
And as
Oh.
you're getting out there, maybe you should consider some of the girls in town and give them a second chance. I know you haven't found anyone to your liking, and our village is only so large, but time is a wasting. You're not getting any younger.
True.
And I would like to have some grandkids, and it's easier to have children in your 20s than it is in your 30s or 40s. So,
That's just a fact. Yeah. All right. You know, I have been looking at women.
good.
All right. I feel good. You know, my parents are supporting me. Good. Good times are coming.
Nice.
I do think it's a little suspicious that Dad's spending a lot more time here, and it does come to my mind that he probably was cheating on my mom, and that's pretty fucked up. But it seems like the gods have actually sorted it out.
Fuck.
Yeah, not good.
Karmic retribution.
Yep, shouldn't have done that.
For being a home wrecker. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
right.
the woman who your dad was close with, her name is Mary. She lives in that circular house that Riven was just looking at.
Yeah, Riven's
it not?
mom. No, I thought it was Riven's mom.
No. Riven's mom runs the Horticultural Society, but Mary also goes to the It wasn't Riven's mom that he was
it was
banging.
Riven's mom.
I have the notes here, buddy.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's Mary.
Mary
We gotta
is
get
the
her
one
then.
that Cedric's
She
dad.
does have a sultry way about her.
Yeah.
She does,
And
yeah.
she has a son
Yeah.
who's also named Cedric. So,
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Okay.
cool. All right. As long as we're all on the same page here.
We're on the same page now.
Okay. Now,
I chose the right time to zone back in. Right.
perfect. The sun burns off. The sun burns the fog off. The cliffs are visible once more. The day is worked well, and we go on to the next one, 17th of November. And this is where things begin to get a little messy. Because as the party is getting together in the early morning to make their plans to like head back out and resupply and everything, in comes another half elf in town. There's not a lot, but this one's an important one. This is a female half elf named Xylem, and she is the hunter in town. The island's not that big. You have some wildlife, but you need to be careful not to over farm it. And so she's sort of like the de facto game warden. She's the ranger in town. She's essentially like a second level fighter. She's not trained as a fighter, but that's her combat capability. And she does have a tracking skill. She's probably the only person in Aknar who does have tracking. And she shows up this morning as everyone's gathering together at the overseer's place, and waits for the overseer to come outside and stops you. Xylem,
Sorry, Neil, is this the next day or is this the day of the goblins coming to the beach?
this is the day after that.
Okay, so did we set the ambush the night before?
Yeah, but nothing showed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Xylem will say to you as you come out of your house and as Riven comes out, Overseer, I found something last night. Well, yesterday. I didn't get home until late, so I didn't bother to wake you, but now that it's morning, I have grave news.
You have grave news? What did you find?
I found
How have you been? I haven't seen you in...
I found the bodies of the 3 missing
You
wardens.
did?
Ooh.
Where?
On the far side, near Moon Lake. Well, just beyond Moon Lake.
We searched there days ago.
Up one of the peninsulas, the easternmost one. I'm so sorry.
Oh, of course. We went up the westernmost one.
Let's assemble the wooden party, and we'll. Would you be willing to take us there today?
I'd be happy to.
Okay.
I'll get
Maybe
the
we need
others.
to bring a few people. I'll turn to Riven and I'll say, should we bring some extra people to help us carry the bodies home so they can be buried properly?
I shrug. I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, can we bring a cart?
Maybe Zephyr, maybe it's wise to go there and see what's there first. If there's danger, we might not want to risk the lives
What
of
happened
any
to the
of our
bodies? What does it
villagers.
look like happened, Tracker?
They've
Were they
been
torn
there
up?
I
for a
promised
little
the
while.
families.
They look like they've been picked at by wildlife and animals. I didn't inspect them myself. I saw them from a distance. They're right by the ocean's edge.
Riven, I promised the families of these people that I would bring them home, and I don't think I can fulfill my duty if I don't get them home and buried in our graveyard.
Makes sense. I understand. Should we bring the other wardens, or I know that the families of some of the missing wardens have some young sons that maybe could help. They might be motivated to.
we should ask around for young, able-bodied men related to the missing, and bring some cloths to wrap the bodies so that the people are spared from seeing the condition they're in. If indeed it is as Asylum says.
Leave it with me. You go and gather the rest of Elijah and Cedric, and I'll go and see who I can find to help with the bodies.
Perfect.
All right. So Neil, knowing everyone in the town, there's 3 families associated with these 3 wardens. I'm assuming that there is some young people in each of these families that can help with this.
As you go to make these plans, Xylem will say to you, I don't know if you want the kids to see them. As I said, I didn't get too close to them, but they looked like they'd been like ripped apart by wild animals because they've been out there so long.
Goblins.
I don't know if you want the children to see their mothers and fathers shredded.
Young men with iron stomachs is what we need, who
Unrelated to
carry
the
them
family.
home. Yeah, willing to carry them home.
I make a list in my head of who I think is best suited for that, and I'll go find them.
You find the hard-tacked people in town.
Yeah.
2 to 3 per person, so we'll need like between 6 and 9 people to carry, so people can take breaks and stuff.
These are the sorts of
And then just
people who, in good times are kind of annoying. They're aggressive, they're rough, but then in the hard times, you really appreciate them being around because they can handle ugly jobs like this.
Yeah.
Dirty jobs.
Yeah.
Elijah does not want to have anything to do with this job.
Well, you're gonna have to come because it's, it might be dangerous.
Well,
And we need our best fighter.
We do need our best fighter, and you're the best in the land.
it's more of a situation with like my kind of weak, because you said iron stomach, right? And mine's kind of more leather. But like I can definitely stand watch, off site a little bit and make sure that nobody comes to intrude.
All right. I mean, that seems
You
fair.
don't need to.
Okay.
You don't need to interact.
Are we
with them.
leaving?
But
Are we leaving the rest of the
Okay.
wardens, or are we just taking us 4 plus the body
Us
carriers?
4 plus the body carriers, right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, let's give the wardens a day off. Plus, we need to keep someone behind to guard the beach if anyone turns up.
so it's us 4 body carriers plus Xylem, plus maybe a horse or a beast of burden to give people breaks when they're walking. Like maybe we can strap well, the horse wouldn't like it if we strapped bodies to it. But there's also probably someone in the town who handles the graveyard stuff. Maybe they should be brought because they would be experienced with like wrapping bodies and.
The priest in town handles the grave stuff. They're not necessarily well suited for hauling corpses, but they do the preparation.
I don't think we should take the priest. I think we should leave the priest in the town.
Okay.
Okay, well, I go off to gather the body carriers, Neil.
Okay. You get your body carriers done.
Who I assume, given these are the hard-nosed, violent types in the town, that Riven doesn't really get on with them very well, given that I'm the kind of the opposite of that. So it's probably a pretty awkward thing to achieve, but maybe, given that they respect strength, maybe they respect me a bit more now that I've got magic.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
When they hear that, the other wardens have found and that they're just corpses, these people will do their jobs. They'll volunteer without too much struggle. But they're not like super chatty with you. You're definitely a little too soft for them. They make off-color jokes. They're the sort of folks that when you say you want some help with this, they'll do like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, with those like weak elven arms, how could you lift a body?
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to antagonize them because I'm asking them for a favor.
Yeah.
But yeah, Riven has their own opinions about these people.
We should recruit these guys. These guys are great.
So I guess I meet back up with the rest of the party and Xylem at the edge of town.
And we're going to head off. We're going to go.
Yeah.
Xylem says that the bodies were found out around. I don't know why that's not showing up. Out around over here, the tip of this this eastern point. It's about equidistant to go around. It doesn't really matter which way you go.
I think it's probably safer to go around because going up over the trails involves like ups and downs, and
Yeah. Okay. And
mountain trails are more dangerous than flat trails.
okay.
Party agree, disagree?
No, I
agree.
A typical patrol wouldn't take you to the edge of the peninsulas, would it?
It wouldn't. They often get skipped.
So it's strange that they're there.
They were probably following something, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Shrug.
We should be
Hmm.
cautious when we get there.
Okay.
I agree.
You leave the other 5, 6, whatever wardens behind, and you head out with Xylem and some body carriers out over here. They bring some sacks to carry all the ripped apart pieces, because you're not going to be like gently carrying bodies. You're going to be putting like arms and legs and stuff into a bag and then hauling the bag of broken corpses back to town.
So the plan was to basically like try to wrap them in like a bundle so that they could be carried between two people. Sort of like, if you
Okay.
imagine, you ever see
Yeah.
Braveheart? You know when his wife gets wrapped? Sorry for the spoiler. Like that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah,
Huge
like when you
spoiler.
kill someone, you wrap them up in a carpet and then you haul them out of the hotel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like
Exactly.
I got you.
Hey, a quick question, right? We saw their camp, which I'm assuming was their camp, basically here, right?
Something like that.
Does anyone remember when that party left town, whether they went out this way or this way?
Good question.
Because if they made camp there, if they'd come via the south end of the mountain, they'd have already passed that peninsula.
You can ask around. Let's see if any of their family members remember which way they walked that day. First person, no. Second person saw them off, but saw them walk to the overseer's place, but not when they left town. Third person walked with them to the edge of town. They left northward.
Okay, so in theory, then they could have just been doing their patrol and camped
Saw
there
something,
and then gone up there next.
Good
Yeah.
questions. Good questions. Our party will head southward out and around
Yeah.
and make their way out over here. However, we are at the end of our session for the day. So when we come back next week, we're going to investigate these corpses. And there's one more thing, one more detail. We're gonna fast forward some of this movement, because as the party comes out, at least towards Moon Lake, and you start making your way towards the end of the peninsula, what you're gonna see is a boat. A boat coming from this direction, heading towards you. That man that you talked to earlier, Rory, he was from Carrick. Carrick is this way. It's like southwest of you. And you had told him that you maybe saw the thing in Thornbrook, which is to the northeast of you. And this looks like a boat coming from Thornbrook. If it's coming from an island, it's coming from Thornbrook. Maybe it's that man who said he was looking for it with his kids. Maybe it's a different person from Thornbrook. But by the time you're well too far away from town, you see the small boat coming from Thornbrook headed this direction.
One last question then before we go. Where are the beaches on this side of the island?
There are small little beaches kind of scattered all over the place.
Okay.
There's lots
so
of
we could
rocky...
pretty much land wherever.
Yeah, there's lots of rocky terrain, and there are some beaches, but there's enough small little landing places that he could foreseeably land anywhere.
Okay, cool. Well, exciting. Good session.
Good
All right.
sesh.
It's good to be back. We've been gone
Yeah.
from this for like a month because of the
Way too long,
holidays.
way too long.
Yeah.
Let's
Big amount.
I'm excited for
do
next
some-
session.
should we do some scheduling?
Well, let's also just do a little bit of experience because we
Oh.
did XP for.
Jamie, your camera went off.
Oh,
Well,
I mean, we don't need it anymore, right?
yeah, we did.
I've seen
we
enough
dealt
of
with
that
those
dude for
guys.
today.
We did XP for the trial that happened last session, and we did XP for the flower investigation, right? No, it wasn't the flowers. What was the very first thing that we
No,
did that we
it
got
was
XP
it
for?
was the sending off the boat people.
Oh, right,
Right,
the sending off
yes.
of the boat people. Okay. The flower thing, everyone should take 50 for working the flowers. And everyone
Yeah.
should take 50 for the goblin beaches with the boat stealing. Actually, 25 for the boat stealing. That was a very minor task. That's a 200 XP divided by 4 people activity. The subsequent investigation around town, posting guards and investigating the weird building is another 25 experience for everyone. No one had any ideas to
question.
save the party. Yeah, go ahead.
Quick. Why is it that Zephyr gets experience alone for her speech, but I have to share my investigating the circular building?
True.
Always whinging.
I mean, it's a risky
Great
whinge
question.
because the answer might just be, why are you even getting questions for that in the first place? Why are you even getting XP for that in the first place?
Yeah.
So it's a risky one.
It was a combination of the guards. It was the follow-up investigation is why I'm lumping it together. You did have a standout job in that, but if we were to break it down, I could give everyone else 15 or 20 and you could get 30 or something like that, but it just starts to get like
Oh,
really
yeah.
nitpicky. And
Okay,
Zephyr
fair.
did give a big, momentous leader speech.
I'm just registering my complaint for the record further down the line.
I wouldn't expect anything less of you.
Whinge has been registered.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool. Maybe we should have. Maybe there should be an article on the wiki of like every time one of us complains about something, and then we can go back and laugh at it all at the end.
I would love
I've never
that.
complained about anything in my
That would
life.
actually be really
Yeah, I'm
funny,
not a
yeah.
big complainer, actually.
No, true. You never complain. That's
Never.
true.
No, never. I've never heard Mr. Mooton complain about it.
I'm always cool as a cucumber.
He's always bleating
Yeah.
like a little sheep boy.
Okay. This is where we're going to end for the day.
Okay.
We'll see you guys next week.
See you
Bye-bye.
guys.